Mechanicsburg Wildcat Football, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, live on Go Mechanicsburg. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow Wildcat Athletics at Go Mechanicsburg on YouTube. Available on all smart devices. Wildcat Football live on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg is presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, Bobby Ray Hall Automotive Group, Charity Kastner RSR Realtors, Your Neighborhood Chick-fil-A at Shepherdstown Crossing, Lawnscapes Inc., Members First Federal Credit Union, Operation Wildcat, OSS Health, now with 2 locations on the West Shore, Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department, RBC Wealth Management and the Turnbridge Group, Renewed Hearing Solutions, Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming, Sheets, Snappers Bar and Grill, Seth Gardner State Farm, Your Harrisburg True Green Lawn Care, Westshire Decks servicing all of Central PA, the Wildcat Foundation, and Wolf Brewing Company. Now, let's check in with Ben Shad for this week's edition of Foundation Facts with the Wildcat Foundation.
Hello, Wildcat fans, and thanks for tuning in for this Varsity broadcast here on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg. Tonight's broadcast is presented by 11 Oaks Farm in Newville. We'll get you out to the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth in just a bit, but right now it's time for our pregame segment, as always, presented by the Wildcat Foundation. And this is Foundation Facts, and today I am joined by Jaron Ruth. Jaron, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So give us a little bit of your background and your connection to the Mechanicsburg Area School District.
Yeah, this is going on my 5th year teaching at Elmwood Academy. All 5 years I've been a special education teacher there. 6th year overall teaching. I was a graduate of Mechanicsburg, so an alumni. Went through Mechanicsburg K-12, and then went and pursued my further my education at Messiah College.
Interesting. So go ahead and tell us about your grant program.
Yeah. My grant program is kind of working alongside the general education teachers. I kind of wrote my grant kind of to help support them, to help them kind of as an extension of supporting the students. So kind of through my lens as a special education teacher, I saw that there's like a great deal of need for our community and just overall career readiness skills, things like just growing our students' understanding and skills of communication, just problem solving, decision making, critical thinking skills. So kind of that was kind of the start of where my grant proposal was kind of coming into thought. And then from there, I kind of did some more research, and a lot of research is backing using books and educational literature to kind of guide and teach students specific skills, such as a lot of these career readiness skills. So as a proposing my grant, I got accepted and is using that money to, I have a little over 60 plus like kind of children books geared towards our age group of the 4th and 5th graders at Elmwood Academy. And then through that, my vision is during morning meeting times where we're trying to kind of engage kids with more of the paper pencil critical thinking skills rather than just kind of having them on computers or things like that, is kind of supporting the teachers in kind of rolling out some lessons that they can teach these skills using the books. So finding a book that kind of works on how do we communicate, how do we be a good team player, and using the books to kind of help guide those overarching skills that we hope that our students not only learn in 4th and 5th grade, but can continue with them through the rest of their education and into the real world.
And it's such a critical aspect, because you spend so much, at least for, I think when we were going through school, it's so much book learning, and it's so much hammering that stuff in, and kind of that aspect of being a team player, working in a team setting, being able to communicate, that just kind of came with the turf, for lack of a better term. And I think in recent years, especially post-pandemic, I would think, that's kind of been abandoned, forgotten, or maybe we kind of need to come up with a new angle of looking at how do you approach that kind of teaching?
Yeah. I think like you said, I think it's just kind of finding the balance. I think that I'm sure that different areas and different teachers kind of channel it different ways. And I think ultimately my goal was, I know that classroom teachers have a lot on their plates. They're having to try to get through curriculum. They're having to try to manage a lot of different aspects of their day. So I kind of took it kind of upon myself to kind of help support them, because I think that overall, right, the being a good teammate and being able to work collaboratively and being able to make critical decisions and things like that, those skills are never going to go away, whether it be when they're making fourth or fifth grader decisions, or whether they're making decisions about where they're going to further their education out of high school, or whether what field they're going to get into out of high school or out of college. And I think that my approach was, how can I best support the teachers that have a lot on their plate in kind of helping further develop these skills, whether students have a lot of knowledge in it or are lacking in some of the skill areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more question before we go. I'm kind of interested, with that fourth and fifth grade age group, why is that one that kind of is targeted by this program, and why is that such a good time for these kind of skills to be worked on?
Yeah, great question. I think Elmwood is a unique opportunity because I feel like we're not the 1 to 3 primary buildings, but we're not quite middle school yet. So I feel like, at least my time at Elmwood, I feel like we are constantly trying to, offer students a little bit more freedom and a little bit more responsibility that we're not necessarily asking of our 1 to 3 buildings, but not yet just kind of letting them go out on their own, that kind of the middle school is starting to ask of them. So I feel like our building and our age group is a great time to not necessarily introduce these skills, because I think a lot of time, like, these are skills that are being introduced as young as kindergarten, but I think as you get older, they get a little bit more complex. They get a little bit more stretched out, a little bit more over different facets of life. So I think that our building is a good opportunity and a good time to kind of build these up a little bit more, especially right before they take a large transition to the middle school, where I think responsibility and kind of ownership of oneself is kind of what's expected a little bit more. So I think that this is a good opportunity to set them up for success beyond just how they're doing in math and ELA and science and social studies and things like that.
Wow. Well, sounds like an amazing program, one that once again sets students up for a lifelong of learning in multiple areas than just your usual math, science, reading, and whatnot. Jaron, fantastic. And thank you so much for joining us. Folks, this has been Foundation Facts presented by the Wildcat Foundation. Learn more about them online at wildcatfoundation.org. We're going to take a quick break and be right back after this.
Hey there, Wildcat fans. It's Mike Garland, voice of Wildcat Athletics. And that map you're looking at and those little blue pins, they represent the central Pennsylvania locations of our broadcast partners. From our presenting sponsor, 11 Oaks Farms, to the south and west in Newville, to one of our newest partners, Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming on South Market Street in Mechanicsburg, and everywhere in between, these are community-oriented businesses, and their dollars are supporting Wildcat Athletics. So in turn, fans, I ask you to support them. Pick up the phone and price their services. Shop in their store locations. Tell them you heard about it during a broadcast of Wildcat Athletics. Go to mbgsd.org or download the new district app and navigate to the Athletics tab to learn more about each one of these great central Pennsylvania businesses. We thank them for their support and encourage you to support them as well.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville, or call 717-360-8249.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub service and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. at 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
OSS Health is physician-owned and operated. We're able to help patients in a way that others cannot.
We're not looking at a number.
Everyone's looking out for the best thing for the patient.
Seeing that they're reaching their goals, making the community as healthy as possible.
What I love most is when I get to see them get back to the activity that they love.
When I see a patient smiling, it makes it all worth it. I love my job.
Operation Wildcat is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to pool the resources in our community to help our school district students, families, and staff members in need. We'll take your new or gently used back-to-school items, bikes, books, clothing, dresses and suits, furniture, Halloween costumes, gifts for the holiday, Christmas tree decorations, pennies, socks, underwear, Thanksgiving food, toothbrushes and toothpaste, and yard sale items. Learn more at OperationWildcat.org and go Wildcats.
Elevate your everyday with the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department. Immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. From adrenaline-pumping sports to serene outdoor escapes, we've got your perfect recreation blend. Join us for fitness, family fun, and fantastic experiences. Unleash your inner adventurer. It's time for a thrilling escape. Visit mbgsd.org and click on the Recreation tab. Or drop by your office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center, Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, where every moment is a new adventure.
At Bobby Ray Hall, it's about doing the right thing, starting with our vision, that clients deserve great service at a fair price. We understand this can only happen with great team members. Doing what's right includes supporting local charities, youth sports, and first responders. It extends to the environment and why we reclaim rainwater for car washes and recycle used oil. We want to thank our loyal clients for recognizing us by voting Bobby Ray Hall simply the best of Harrisburg for 21 years in a row. Experience the Bobby Ray Hall difference and find out more at BobbyRayHall.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management is a proud supporter of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When faced with tough business and personal financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. With a focus on retirement planning and complex financial situations, the team helps you define and achieve your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you and your family. Financial advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225 today.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. There was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Mary Ann at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans. It's time for our weekly Wildcat scoreboard. While the football team will be kicking things off from Hershey in just a few moments, the second season for many of our fall sports teams here in Mechanicsburg begin next week with the opening round of the district tournament. The schedule looks like this. On Tuesday, October 21st, boys soccer will host the number 12 seed Exeter Township at 5 p.m. at Northside. At 7:30 p.m. at that very same Northside soccer pitch, girls soccer will host the number 13 Wilson Bulldogs. On Wednesday, October 22nd, varsity field hockey is home at Memorial Park, facing number 13 Southwestern. That's a 7 p.m. start. And in the gym, girls varsity volleyball will host the number 12 seed Spring Grove Rockets, also at 7 p.m. Also next Friday the 24th, football is home for senior night versus Shippensburg. That is a 7 p.m. start. And for any of the fall sports teams participating in districts who win next week, the second round of the district tournament is on Saturday, October 25th. Keep an eye on X, formerly Twitter, at Go Mechanicsburg for the latest scores, schedules, information, and updates. We're going to take a break and check in with head coach Dave Heckert as part of Coach's Corner. We'll be back after this on Go Mechanicsburg.
We are dedicated to serving our members, associates, and communities because they give us purpose. We know we are stronger when we come together as one. We believe financial literacy is a key tool for personal well-being, economic stability, and a more secure financial future for everyone. And we are committed to providing all with access to financial wellness resources. We strive to deliver unparalleled experiences for our members through every moment and milestone. We are built by will, forged by people, and powered by a proud member experience.
Are you on the hunt for a new home? Maybe you're a growing family looking to expand your living situation, or you find your current space too large and you're simply looking to downsize. Whatever your needs, contact Charity Kastner, Realtor with RSR Realtors today. Charity knows the local real estate market and she will find the right home for you. Charity Kastner isn't just a Mechanicsburg-based realtor, she's a Mechanicsburg mom. And after all, mother knows best. Just ask her kids. Make the move today by calling Charity Kastner at 717-557-9312 or rsrrealtors.com to find your first or next home sweet home.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Seth Gardner for your personal price plan today.
Snappers Bar and Grill at 120 East Allen Street in Mechanicsburg is proud to support Wildcat Athletics. Snappers is open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. and offers outstanding service and exceptional food and drink options, all at a fair price. Stop in for fresh seafood, delicious hand-cut steaks, and homemade pasta dishes. Snappers also offers a variety of sandwiches, fresh, crisp salads, and awesome appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or have your next big gathering catered. Snappers Bar and Grill, call 717-697-9475 to learn more.
With True Green, we got a great price on a golf course quality lawn,
which attracted golfers.
Morning. Who needs a warm-up? And because True Green's doing the work, we get to have more fun.
Please don't post that.
Too late.
They don't have grass this thick in Australia.
That's what happens when you have a great lawn.
Shanked it again, huh? They're fun to have around.
PGA Tour quality lawns for as little as $1 a day.
Where are we playing next?
Get started at TrueGreen.com.
A deck where memories are made, barbecues are grilled, and sunsets are savored. But let's face it, not all decks are created equal. Enter Westshire Decks. We're not your average deck builders. Precision is our mantra. We don't just build decks, we craft outdoor living spaces tailored to your dreams. With Westshire Decks, you get seasoned experts who know decks inside and out. So why settle for a deck that's just okay when you can have one that's extraordinary? Westshire Decks, where craftsmanship meets creativity. Give us a call today and come see how we are different.
The Wildcat Foundation is Mechanicsburg Area School District's education foundation. Established in 1998, the foundation raises and distributes funds that support students in education, wellness, cultural awareness, and athletics. The Wildcat Foundation has also awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to support students' higher education. Learn more and donate today at wildcatfoundation.org. Wolf Brewing Company, located in Legacy Park, just off South Market Street in Mechanicsburg, offers a family and pet-friendly atmosphere for community members of all ages. Family owned by Wildcat graduates, Wolf Brewing Company serves up delectable dishes including comfort foods with a gourmet twist, plus drinks of all types for the community, from the community. Roll in before, during, or after the game for their laid-back ambiance, live music, trivia, and more. Wolf Brewing Company, 100 Legacy Park Drive, Suite 400, or online at wolfbrewingco.com.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
It's time for Coach's Corner, presented by the Wildcat Foundation. Here's head coach Dave Heckard and the voice of the Wildcats, Mike Garland.
Good evening, Wildcat fans. It's time for Coach's Corner, live on Go Mechanicsburg. Coach's Corner presented by our friends at the Wildcat Foundation. I am joined tonight by second-year head coach Dave Heckard. Coach, how you doing?
Good. Just caught the end of the volleyball game here, right?
Yeah, so as a dad, you're sitting in the bleachers, you're watching your daughter just dominate out there for the time that she had on the hardwood. Before we even talk about football, what's it like as a dad watching your kid out there do her thing?
Oh, I love it. That's her thing, though, right? Like I come and watch, and I really don't say a word to her about her game or anything. If she wants to bring it up, we talk about it, but I just enjoy watching her play and come out here and compete. And they have a really good team, so they've been fun to watch this year. So
yeah, volleyball defeating Northern 3-1 on Monday night, 11-2. But tonight we're in Hershey, or we're going to be in Hershey, and we're going to talk Hershey Trojans football in just a bit. But let's take us back to where we were last Friday, and that was deep in Franklin County, taking on the Waynesboro Indians, a 32-17 Wildcat victory. The score probably not as indicative of what the game was like, as Waynesboro got a couple of points in the second half. What were your thoughts just overall on the game against Waynesboro?
Well, I mean, I feel like, we went out and we did what we had to do. We made some mistakes, but, we were able to rebound from them and had some nice plays out of, Reese Miller had a nice game, and, Noah Apple again, delivered at quarterback, and I think Drake caught a touchdown pass. So, we did what we needed to do, and there were some guys that were, banged up a little bit that we had to rest, and it was a good week for that. So there was a lot of guys that got an opportunity to play as well, so that's always good to see. How does it feel when you can go out there and do what you did against the Waynesboro team, knowing that you had some top guys not even playing and some of your other top guys limited action? So it's nerve-wracking as a coach, right? Like, if you don't have all your guys and things start going bad, right, like, who's going to pull you out of that? And I think as a coach, anytime you go into a game and you don't have, all your guys or, all your bullets in your gun, you're a little apprehensive. But I had a lot of confidence in our backups, and I felt like they could get the job done, and they did that, and everything worked out. So you had Grady Weaver run for over 100 yards. I mean, I guess you didn't have him. He chose to do it. Your offensive line helped him along the way, but he's at least the third different runner this year to go over the century mark. Grady Weaver, Reese Miller, Noah Apple. That's a great testament to your offensive line. The offensive line is doing a great job. And those guys do well, running the ball as well. So to have a stable of running backs, I mean, you come into the postseason here late into the season, and we're going to need every one of them. So, with Reese and Grady and Noah running the ball well, and you pop even Anthony Francis in there at times, and he does a good job running the ball. So, there's going to come a point where we're going to need every one of them. So. Great contributions from everybody on the team. For some of the guys who weren't healthy, and we don't need to go into who exactly they were, but generically speaking, what's their level of health here heading into the Hershey game? So we're good. I mean, like I said, we just needed a break for some of those guys, one game, and I mean, there was a couple of them that really, if they needed to play in that game, they probably could have, but we felt it was more important for them to get healthy and see what some of these younger guys could do, and. But those guys will be back and healthy. So, what was the bus ride like back to Mechanicsburg? Long, tiring, long and tiring. But it's a lot longer and a lot more tiring probably if you lose. So we at least won and on our way back. And it was a long trip, but nonetheless it was fine. And now we're moving on to two big games here at the end of the year. So. Absolutely. We'll talk about the Hershey Trojans coming up in just a moment. Any final thoughts on the Waynesboro game? No. We're putting that one to bed. We're moving on, and we're excited here for the end of the year. So very cool. Well, closing the book on the Waynesboro game, the Cats victorious in that one, 32-17. We're going to take a break, come back, talk about tonight's opponent, the Hershey Trojans,
Mechanicsburg and Hershey, live on Go Mechanicsburg. Back in just a moment. Hey there, Wildcat fans. It's Mike Garland, voice of Wildcat Athletics. And that map you're looking at and those little blue pins, they represent the central Pennsylvania locations of our broadcast partners. From our presenting sponsor, 11 Oaks Farms, to the south and west in Newville, to one of our newest partners, Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming on South Market Street in Mechanicsburg, and everywhere in between, these are community-oriented businesses and their dollars are supporting Wildcat Athletics. So in turn, fans, I ask you to support them. Pick up the phone and price their services. Shop in their store locations. Tell them you heard about it during a broadcast of Wildcat Athletics. Go to mbgsd.org or download the new district app and navigate to the Athletics tab to learn more about each one of these great central Pennsylvania businesses. We thank them for their support and encourage you to support them as well.
We are dedicated to serving our members, associates, and communities because they give us purpose. We know we are stronger when we come together as one. We believe financial literacy is a key tool for personal well-being, economic stability, and a more secure financial future for everyone. And we are committed to providing all with access to financial wellness resources. We strive to deliver unparalleled experiences for our members through every moment and milestone. We are built by will, forged by people, and powered by a proud member experience.
Are you on the hunt for a new home? Maybe you're a growing family looking to expand your living situation, or you find your current space too large and you're simply looking to downsize. Whatever your needs, contact Charity Kastner, Realtor with RSR Realtors today. Charity knows the local real estate market and she will find the right home for you. Charity Kastner isn't just a Mechanicsburg-based realtor, she's a Mechanicsburg mom. And after all, mother knows best. Just ask her kids. Make the move today by calling Charity Kastner at 717-557-9312 or rsrrealtors.com to find your first or next home sweet home.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Seth Gardner for your personal price plan today.
Snappers Bar and Grill at 120 East Allen Street in Mechanicsburg is proud to support Wildcat Athletics. Snappers is open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. and offers outstanding service and exceptional food and drink options, all at a fair price. Stop in for fresh seafood, delicious hand-cut steaks, and homemade pasta dishes. Snappers also offers a variety of sandwiches, fresh, crisp salads, and awesome appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or have your next big gathering catered. Snappers Bar and Grill. Call 717-697-9475 to learn more.
With True Green, we got a great price on a golf course quality lawn,
which attracted golfers.
Morning. Who needs a warm-up? And because True Green's doing the work, we get to have more fun.
Please don't post that.
Too late.
They don't have grass this thick in Australia.
That's what happens when you have a great lawn.
Shanked it again, huh? They're fun to have around.
PGA Tour quality lawns for as little as $1 a day.
Where are we playing next?
Get started at TrueGreen.com.
A deck where memories are made, barbecues are grilled, and sunsets are savored. But let's face it, not all decks are created equal. Enter Westshire Decks. We're not your average deck builders. Precision is our mantra. We don't just build decks, we craft outdoor living spaces tailored to your dreams. With Westshire Decks, you get seasoned experts who know decks inside and out. So why settle for a deck that's just okay when you can have one that's extraordinary? Westshire Decks, where craftsmanship meets creativity. Give us a call today and come see how we are different.
The Wildcat Foundation is Mechanicsburg Area School District's education foundation. Established in 1998, the foundation raises and distributes funds that support students in education, wellness, cultural awareness, and athletics. The Wildcat Foundation has also awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships to support students' higher education. Learn more and donate today at wildcatfoundation.org. Wolf Brewing Company, located in Legacy Park, just off South Market Street in Mechanicsburg, offers a family and pet-friendly atmosphere for community members of all ages. Family owned by Wildcat graduates, Wolf Brewing Company serves up delectable dishes including comfort foods with a gourmet twist, plus drinks of all types for the community, from the community. Roll in before, during, or after the game for their laid-back ambiance, live music, trivia, and more. Wolf Brewing Company, 100 Legacy Park Drive, Suite 400, or online at wolfbrewingco.com.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner, live on Go Mechanicsburg. Coach's Corner presented by our friends at the Wildcat Foundation. Head coach Dave Heckert, we just got done talking about last week's game against Waynesboro. A big game tonight against the Hershey Trojans, really. Two big games in a row, but as always, we don't worry about next week. We worry about tonight. So what do we know about Hershey?
They're in the mix in this division right now. I mean, they have two losses. They lost in overtime to Lower Dauphin, and they lost to Shippensburg in a close one. So they lost two close games, and I mean, they're a tough team, and Coach Painter does a good job over there, and I feel like their players are always pretty strong. I mean, they're pretty solid up front, and they run the ball well. And I mean, we're going to have our hands full Friday night, and they're just a good, tough, hard-nosed team.
You talk about them running the ball well. They have 3 or 4 ball carriers that are over 300 yards. Their starting quarterback has not only thrown for over 1,000, but he's run for 600 or 700 yards himself. So what do you need to do as a defense to corral that quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, that's the guy we got to stop tonight. And, he's a tremendous athlete, arguably the best athlete in our division. Real good basketball player for Hershey as well. And we just got to know where he's at in the field at all times. And, I think, he's obviously the guy that you have to stop. He's a big part of their offense, and we're going to try to do that. But I think, hopefully our defensive line can put some pressure on him and get him uncomfortable back there.
Well, and you think about what last year's game with Hershey was all about, a lot of emotion going into that game. And a year removed from that big game last year, we have another big game this year. And just when you think that, hey, things are looking pretty good in conference, you get another team that wants to step up and smack you in the face. And I think that, the Hersheys and the Shippensburgs of the world, they look at what the Mechanicsburg resume is this year, and they want to be that team to do exactly what Lower Dauphin did. So how do you keep your kids focused when the game matters as much as it does tonight?
So, I mean, I think I tell the kids all the time, like, you got to one-up, right? Like, if I have to yell and scream to get you excited, to get you fired up to play a good Hershey team, like, that shouldn't be that way. I mean, we know what we have in front of us, and I think that, the kids, when we have good teams that we play, the kids seem to peak and play a pretty good game. So I'm hoping that happens. I mean, we have to have a good week of practice this week and, hit on all cylinders there. I think that's the most important part, is taking care of the week of practice, and making the most of it. And, all our adjustments and alignments and everything on defense and, our offense and timing and, efficiency and everything. And but I think we'll be fine. And I think we'll play with a lot of emotion. So.
Well, and emotion is great, and I think a Coach Heckert team seems to rise to the occasion almost literally more often than it doesn't. So anything else you want to add about tonight's game against Hershey?
No, they're a good team. I think the fans are going to watch a good game, and, I hopefully we're ready to play.
It's going to be a little bit of a smaller atmosphere. Of course, Hershey playing at their new on-campus stadium. A different year at a different time. You'd be playing at Hershey Park Stadium for the second time this year. But we go on campus to Hershey, and hopefully our fans have traveled well tonight to watch this big game. Coach, last question. School's halfway into the first half of the year just about. How are things going?
It's crazy to think that.
Right.
I think we're like 2 weeks away from the end of the first marking period already.
I know.
And to your point, halfway through the first half of the year. But everything's going well, and I'll give the shout out to the students here. The student body has been really supportive at the games and been following us. So, we're excited to see that. But school's going well. So.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck tonight against Hershey. Thank you for joining me as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will take one step closer to getting you out to the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Look at this guy. Proud dad. Daughter's a star of the volleyball team. And
I don't know about all that.
Come on. She's pretty good.
That Katie Waterman's pretty darn good, too.
Everybody was out there spiking the ball around and digging it. Bumping.
They were bumping.
Bumping is a word I learned.
That's right.
We're going to take a break. Come back. Kickoff forthcoming from Hershey live on Go Mechanicsburg.
You've been watching Coach's Corner, presented by the Wildcat Foundation. Coming up, we'll get you out to the stadium for tonight's game live on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub service and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. at 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
OSS Health is physician-owned and operated. We're able to help patients in a way that others cannot.
We're not looking at a number. Everyone's looking out for the best thing for the patient.
Seeing that they're reaching their goals, making the community as healthy as possible.
What I love most is when I get to see them get back to the activity that they love.
When I see a patient smiling, it makes it all worth it. I love my job.
Operation Wildcat is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to pool the resources in our community to help our school district students, families, and staff members in need. We'll take your new or gently used back-to-school items, bikes, books, clothing, dresses and suits, furniture, Halloween costumes, gifts for the holiday, Christmas tree decorations, pennies, socks, underwear, Thanksgiving food, toothbrushes and toothpaste, and yard sale items. Learn more at OperationWildcat.org and go Wildcats.
Elevate your everyday with the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department. Immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. From adrenaline-pumping sports to serene outdoor escapes, we've got your perfect recreation blend. Join us for fitness, family fun, and fantastic experiences. Unleash your inner adventurer. It's time for a thrilling escape. Visit mbgsd.org and click on the Recreation tab. Or drop by our office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center, Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, where every moment is a new adventure.
At Bobby Ray Hall, it's about doing the right thing, starting with our vision, that clients deserve great service at a fair price. We understand this can only happen with great team members. Doing what's right includes supporting local charities, youth sports, and first responders. It extends to the environment and why we reclaim rainwater for car washes and recycle used oil. We want to thank our loyal clients for recognizing us by voting Bobby Ray Hall simply the best of Harrisburg for 21 years in a row. Experience the Bobby Ray Hall difference and find out more at BobbyRayHall.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management is a proud supporter of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When faced with tough business and personal financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. With a focus on retirement planning and complex financial situations, the team helps you define and achieve your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you and your family. Financial advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225 today.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. There was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Mary Ann at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
It's time for Mechanicsburg Wildcat Football, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, live on Go Mechanicsburg. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow Wildcat Athletics at Go Mechanicsburg on YouTube, available on all smart devices. Wildcat Football, live on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg, is presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, Bobby Ray Hall Automotive Group, Charity Kastner RSR Realtors, Your Neighborhood Chick-fil-A at Shepherdstown Crossing, Lawnscapes Inc., Members First Federal Credit Union, Operation Wildcat, OSS Health, now with 2 locations on the West Shore, Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department, RBC Wealth Management and the Turnbridge Group, Renewed Hearing Solutions, Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming, Sheets, Snappers Bar and Grill, Seth Gardner State Farm, Your Harrisburg True Green Lawn Care, Westshire Decks servicing all of Central PA, the Wildcat Foundation, and Wolf Brewing Company. Now, let's head out to the stadium and the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth for tonight's game.
With the call, here's the voice of the Wildcats, Mike Garland and Ben Shad.
And good evening, Wildcat fans. From the campus of Hershey High School, I am Mike Garland, joined by Ben Shad for tonight's crucial Mid-Penn Keystone matchup featuring the Mechanicsburg Wildcats and the Hershey Trojans. We will talk the particulars about the game coming up in just a few moments, but right now we'll pause for the national anthem here in Hershey. The Hershey High School Marching Band with the playing of our national anthem. And Ben, as we get ready for tonight's big Keystone matchup, one thing the Wildcats have to be aware of, and that is quarterback Cameron Sweeney. He has thrown for over 1,000 yards. He's rushed for nearly 1,000 yards. And this Wildcat defense needs to be as strong as they've ever been if they want to keep him in check.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game to see how the Wildcats suppress their first real superstar of the year. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with Cameron Sweeney. Very versatile runner, very versatile quarterback. The defense is going to have to step up, but they're coming off a great game against a Waynesboro team that, again, a lot of those 17 points came towards the end of the game in garbage time, if you will. But the game before against Northern, a 35-7 bout, this defense has stood tall against just about every offense they faced in the Keystone Division. It'll be interesting to see how they prepare for this time around.
And for the Wildcats, coming in with a 7-1 overall record, 6-1 in Mid-Penn Keystone, they are in the driver's seat for what would be a repeat conference championship. Of course, one game at a time, 1 week at a time, but a victory tonight, and barring some unfathomable upset in Shippensburg, as the Greyhounds play the Polar Bears this evening. Next week's game against Shippensburg would be, just like last year, for that conference championship. But again, you have to get through tonight before you can worry about what next week brings. Hershey has won the toss and deferred, and it looks like Mechanicsburg will receive to start this one. So we'll have that opening kickoff coming up in just a few moments. And we'll see what the Mechanicsburg offense can do here against this Hershey team that has come in having scored 277 points, averaging 34.6 points per game. In comparison, Mechanicsburg only 229 points. That's 28.6 points per game. So obviously you play games on paper, you play games on football fields, not on paper, but on paper, Hershey has the statistical, easy enough for me to say, statistical advantage coming into this one.
And we've seen that a lot throughout the season. We've seen the numbers advantage played to one way or another, and we've seen some surprising games. I mean, statistics said that Mechanicsburg should have won against Lower Dauphin, right? And look what happened there. Anything can happen, especially at this part of the season. But for Mechanicsburg, this is your time to show out. Because after this game, it doesn't get any easier because you play a Shippensburg game. Granted, at home on senior night, but Shippensburg right behind the Wildcats in the lead for the Keystone Division lead. It'll be interesting to see. This is going to be a wild one tonight.
Carson Goodman will tee it up and tow it away for the Hershey Trojans. Back deep to return for the Cats, Darius Crawford George and J.J. Gould. So our official Matt Freeze will blow the whistle, and the opening kick is a squibber, and it is fielded by Anthony Francis. So first down and 10 for the Wildcats. We'll take a look at the rest of that officiating crew for tonight's game. I mentioned Matthew Freeze, he's the referee. Francis Cuttrey is the umpire. Mike Mitchell, the head linesman. Cole Barnes is your line judge, and the back judge is Joe Jablonski. First down and 10 for the Mechanicsburg Wildcats. They will have the ball to start this one on their own 35-yard line. Single back in the backfield for the Wildcats. That'll be Reese Miller. He is sniffing 1,000 yards on the year. In fact, he comes in with 837 on the ground, and he will have the first carry. Reese Miller around the right side, following that big offensive line of his, and he is pushed out just past the 40-yard line, a gain of 6, maybe 7. And in on the tackle for the Hershey Trojans, that aforementioned Cameron Sweeney. He does it all on offense, and he makes some tackles on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, again, player to watch on both sides of the field, but a solid run to dominate. If Miller can get going and take the pressure off his quarterback in Noah Apple, then Mechanicsburg can see this game out. Anytime teams stop Reese Miller, then the Wildcats struggle on offense.
Jack DeLuca, the single receiver in motion. Noah Apple, pass complete to Drake Dawson. And actually, they're going to say it was completed and a fumble? I'm not sure, Ben. I thought maybe, and the officials are going to talk about it. They're going to say that was a fumble. I don't know. I mean, it's too late to go back and look at the replay now, but I don't think he made what would be constituted as a football move. I think it should have been an incomplete pass.
I didn't see the steps. I saw the ball hit the gut, but I didn't see any forward progress. I didn't see the feet move one step, let alone 3. It did get stripped out, but good for Hershey for playing heads-up football, and 2 plays into this one, they get the ball back in prime field position.
And mistakes overall the last 2 years, not something Mechanicsburg is known for, and we'll see if this one early is costly or not. So Sweeney is the single man in the backfield. He's in that shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers to his right. Shotgun snap, it's going to be a quarterback keeper. He tries to turn the corner and can't do it. Dylan Taylor, Talon Verdelli in the area for the tackle. And a gain of maybe 1 or 2 on the play. It's going to bring up second down and long.
This is going to be a big game for the line. Drake Dawson, Landon Yale, Stair, DeWire. All of these guys are really going to have to come up big and be ready for a mobile quarterback. And that play right there, they were. But can they sustain that energy and sustain that blocking for all 4 quarters? That is going to be the big question mark and potentially the crux of this game.
Forget about a gain or 1 or 2. It was actually a loss of 1. Second down and 11. Sweeney takes the shotgun snap. The inside handoff goes to Caleb Simmons, and he too is met near the line of scrimmage. So Mechanicsburg looking to bounce back from that early called fumble off the catch from Drake Dawson. Third down and long for the Trojans.
And good thing that we're seeing from Mechanicsburg, the gang tackling. The entire line is moving as one. Now, the risk that you run with that is that if you go the wrong way, then you give Hershey a wide open field to run down. So this line has to be sure of where that ball is going. Watch for any reversals or cut routes in the backfield to try and trip up the Mechanicsburg defensive line.
Caleb Simmons sidecar right to Cameron Sweeney. A single man in motion. Sweeney dropping back. That pass complete out of the backfield to Grant later. And he is going to be tackled short of the line to gain. 4th down and 1 for the Trojans. That offense will no doubt stay on the field.
Absolutely. But a solid run there, solid pass. Just a little out route through the back, finding Grant later. The 6-foot even 185, listed as both quarterback and wide receiver, so he can just about do it all. Have to be mindful of that going forward if Hershey try any trickeration, which 4th and short this far down the field, maybe we might see something from the back of the Hershey playbook.
4th down and officially 2. Reggie Anwi in the backfield along with Cameron Sweeney. Now the offense shifts heavy to the left. Sweeney on the quarterback keeper, met at the line of scrimmage. He is not going to get it, Ben. A big defensive stop for the Mechanicsburg Wildcats. And I think I saw Jimmy Dwyer along with Colin Stair in there making that tackle.
You just saw the whole defensive line respond yet again. Anything up the gut has been shut down by Mechanicsburg. What a great way to bounce back here after that turnover on the fumble that maybe shouldn't have been called. Now Mechanicsburg, you essentially reset, right? You get the ball back just where you gave it up and now have an opportunity to restart this game all over again, granted with 3 more minutes off the clock.
1st down and 10 for the Wildcats. They'll have the ball spotted on their own 32-yard line, so essentially in the same area where the previous offensive possession started. Drake Dawson lining up in the Wildcat formation with Reese Miller to his right. And Dawson will keep, and that play nearly blown up in the backfield by Hagi Dulu, but Dawson was able to turn the corner and pick up a couple of yards before being pushed out of bounds by a pack of Trojans.
Oh boy, Dawson was almost dead to rights back there. He got tripped up on the feet, but great athleticism to keep his balance while running, able to turn himself upfield, and what could have been second and forever instead cuts the change just about in half.
Drake Dawson will come to the sideline, helmet off. I think he's just getting a breather. Talon Verdelli as well will join him on the sideline. 2nd down and 5 for the Cats following that run from Drake Dawson. Noah Apple back on the field in the shotgun formation. Reese Miller to his right. And encroachment by Hershey. And depending on the spot, that may give the Wildcats a 1st down. We'll wait for the call from referee Matt Freeze. It's going to be very close to the line to gain, and the near side official signals 1st down. 1st down and 10 for the Cats. 5 on the rush, 5 on the penalty. And for our fans watching at home, we just ask that if we have any shaky elements to our camera work today, if you could only see what we're working with here. We've got a great view, but
we're not
there. There's a story to it. Yeah, the camera's somewhere else. 1st down and 10 run for Reese Miller. And he is going to pick up another 1st down for the Wildcats. The offense continues to move the chains.
Essentially, you're getting the student section experience here in Hershey, which there are a great bit of fans to our left and behind us, adorned in high-vis vests. I guess that was the theme for tonight.
Construction workers, I think that they're either dressed up as the village people or just random construction workers.
Well, it would be only one of 6 of the village people.
Well, they're all that guy. Reese Miller takes the inside handoff, met near the line of scrimmage, and the tackle made by J.J. Peak. Peak peeked into the backfield to make the stop. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and maybe 9. So the backstory, of course, a couple of weeks ago, Mechanicsburg played at Hershey Park Stadium against the Lower Dauphin Falcons. For years, Lower Dauphin and Hershey shared Hershey Park Stadium as their home stadium. More on that in just a moment. 2nd down and 9 for the Cats. Dawson back in the Wildcat formation. Grady Weaver goes in motion, takes the pop pass coming around, and Grady Weaver met near the line of scrimmage, and he is slammed down. Tackle made by Devin Lutz. So about 2 years ago, Hershey Entertainment notifies these two schools that they're going to go in a different direction with their stadium use, which put Hershey in a position they chose to come back to campus immediately. Lower Dauphin is playing out that 2-year window at the stadium, so Hershey is playing on what I believe used to flat out be a soccer stadium. Like, I think they made a football stadium out of their soccer stadium here in their field hockey field. So still a bit of a makeshift operation, but it's coming together as a beautiful field with the school as a backdrop. Drake Dawson dropping back, screen pass complete to Reese Miller. Reese Miller following a convoy of blockers. He's going to be close to the line to gain. I believe it's going to bring up fourth down. I mean, the reality is neither side has tall bleachers. The Hershey bleachers are packed. This is no doubt the game of the week in Mid-Penn Keystone. The Mechanicsburg bleachers full as well, and if you happen to see the top of a head of a Mechanicsburg student, that's because they are right underneath our camera operator, Austin Bitts. But we thank the Hershey staff for getting us in and making some room for us. It is 4th and 1 for the Cats, looking to move the chains. Drake Dawson on the quarterback keeper. He surges forward. He should get enough yardage to move those chains. Reggie Anwi with the tackle for the Wildcats.
To be fair, our students are trying their best to stay out of the way, but they traveled well. So
They absolutely did. And I appreciate the enforcer that is Austin Bitts up there, a sophomore, and I've seen him more than once tell those kids, hey, get down.
But hey, you're getting a little nostalgia trip for all you Mechanicsburg grads. A little trip through time, if you will.
First down and 10 for Mechanicsburg. They have the ball on the Hershey side of the 50, the 34-yard line to be exact, and Reese Miller is going to be flung down by the back of his jersey. Reggie Anwi with the tackle, and he is the leading tackler for the Hershey Trojans and head coach Mark Painter. Anwi came into this broadcast and game, for that matter, with 49 overall tackles, including 8 tackles for loss. Now make it 9.
Yeah, Anwi, you just blink and he's already in the backfield. So Mechanicsburg, they got to be quick in their play execution. They can't afford to lollygag in the back, try any kind of trick plays or anything. You got to be able to get quick with those handoffs, quick with those toss, quick with those passes, because Anwi will make you pay.
That was a loss on the play as well. Second down and about 17 according to the scoreboard. Noah Apple under center. And the handoff to Reese Miller following that big offensive line. Spins through at the second level. Picks up maybe 8 to 10 yards on second down.
Man, Miller was just going through there like a washing machine. He just kept spinning. He was not stopping, and all those spins kept breaking through another line of tacklers, and all of a sudden he turns what was only maybe a 2-yard gain into like a solid 7 to 8 yard gain.
So it's 3rd down and 7 for the Mechanicsburg Wildcats. So it was a 10-yard run for Reese Miller. I want to say hi to Dave Harris watching from afar, live on Go Mechanicsburg. Today's broadcast presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. 3rd down and 7. Apple taking that shotgun snap under pressure, and he is going to be sacked. Anwi with the sack, his 3rd of the season. And we'll see if the punting unit comes out or if the Cats will go with their standard quick kick. Either way, Noah Apple is the punter.
Yeah, again, Anwi just bursts right through, and as soon as he breaks through that line, there is no escaping him. There's no dodging him. You can't do any juke moves. Apple did the right thing just going down there, and I'm thinking this is going to be just the standard pooch punt.
Apple in a short drop formation. And you have that pooch punt, a single man back to return for the Hershey Trojans in the form of Grant Leder. And this is a Hershey Trojan team, Ben, that went to the postseason last year. There may be a flag on the play based on the aggressiveness of the whistles that I hear. Hershey, a playoff team last year, they actually lost to Cocalico in the first round. And that same Cocalico team came to Mechanicsburg in the second round. The Cats victorious, moving on then to play Bishop McDevitt. Looks like it was actually a sideline warning for Hershey, so no actual penalty, but if it happens again, it will be a penalty. So Hershey's offense on the field for the second time today, and what I've seen so far tells me that this could be a low-scoring affair.
Defenses have came to play today, but again, defenses can only be sustained out there for so long. Be interesting to see. This first quarter has moved by quick. Have to wonder if teams maybe start getting a little riskier with passing, trying some deeper shots downfield, but right now both teams on their opening drives with some small ball. Mechanicsburg able to make something happen. Hershey 3 and out, so we'll see what happens here.
Sweeney takes the shotgun snap. He goes left and tackled in the backfield. Talon Verdelli wraps him up and brings him down for a tackle for loss. We'll take a look at it one more time.
Yeah, you see here, eventually the ball is going to be snapped as Sweeney rolls out to his left. He's got one guy chasing him through all that, and then right there just wrapping it up, securing him. So not only do Mechanicsburg take care of the inside runs at the line, but now with the quarterback rolling out, they were ready for that as well. So while we've been calling the same name for Hershey on the defensive front with all the tackles for loss, Mechanicsburg, just about everybody getting in on the action early on.
Sweeney in the gun, Onway, sidecar right. Sweeney fakes to Onway. He rolls to his right. That pass is completed middle of the field. Brian Maduena. And he will make it towards the big orange H at the center circle here at Hershey High School Stadium. So that's the biggest play from scrimmage for either team thus far. And the chains are going to move. First down and 10 for Hershey, closing in on the 2-minute mark in quarter number 1.
Maduena, the top receiver for this Hershey core. 31 catches for 441 yards, 3 touchdowns, averages 55 yards a game. He is definitely the go-to guy when Hershey want that big play, and they got it right there, move themselves well up the field.
So Sweeney again in the gun, Onway to his right. Sweeney rolling to his right. And that pass completed to Jason Donat. And Donat will pick up the first down. You know, one thing these two teams have in common, Ben, they both lost to the Lower Dauphin Falcons. Believe it or not, a Lower Dauphin team that sits somewhat middle of the pack in the conference at 5-3, 5-2 in the division, has taken down 3 of the top teams in the Keystone.
And at least with these two teams by low scores, that 27-24 loss for Hershey. For Mechanicsburg, obviously that 22-21 loss. So something about the Falcons playing spoiler, something to hang their hat on in the mid-pen.
Sweeney in the shotgun. And that inside handoff goes to Samir Edwards-Pace. He goes nowhere. Wildcat Athletics would like to recognize the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department for their continued support of our web streams. With the Recreation Department in Mechanicsburg, you can immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. There's creative crafts, dance, fitness, arts opportunities, family fun, and more. Visit mbgsd.org or stop by their office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center to get involved. Big thanks to our friends at the Recreation Department. So that may be the final play of the quarter. Hershey doesn't look to be showing a lot of urgency to bring that play in, although they may just be playing for the final play of the quarter.
Play clocks, there's at least one here, but doesn't look like it's working.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
I think we're stealing its power.
Well, let's hope not. Sweeney rolling to his left, pass complete to Grant Later, and he's going to be short of the line to gain. 3rd down and maybe 3 for the Trojans. Also want to thank our friends at Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming. Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming cheering on our hometown teams while athletes hit the field. Let your dog be the MVP at home. Call Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming today at 717-919-6266 or stop by 16 South Market Street in Mechanicsburg. Get your dog a haircut. Stop by our friends at Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming to say hi and learn more. 3rd down and 4, almost certainly, again, 4-down territory for the Hershey Trojans. And barring an incomplete pass, this should be the final play of the quarter. Sweeney takes that shotgun snap. Pressure from Colin Stair. Pass into the end zone. It is incomplete. Maduena, the intended receiver, Darius Crawford Bay, on the coverage. And what did I say? Barring an incomplete pass. Well, there's that incomplete pass. So we'll see if Hershey sends the field goal unit out in the form of Carson Goodman or if the offense will stay on the field. It looks like the offense is going to give it a go.
That had to be a perfect pass from Sweeney, and it almost was. Maduena had it lined up, and then all of a sudden it kind of took off a little bit from him. There was good coverage, managed to avoid any flags, no penalties, but that one just out of the reach of Maduena, but not by much. Have to imagine Hershey will try that play again.
Well, and Maduena certainly has the size advantage over Darius Crawford George. 4th and 4, and a timeout has been called by the Hershey Trojans. So with that timeout, we'll step out real quick as well. Today's game presented by our friends at 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. We'll be right back after this live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Back at Hershey High School's football stadium, it is 4th down and 4. And you are basically looking right down the line of scrimmage from our camera position here in our mobile broadcast booth. Sweeney in shotgun. Sweeney has time. Pass is complete. The chains are going to move. Dylan Taylor makes the tackle on the receiver, Brian Maduena. And that is the final play of the quarter. So the action here would have been perfect for us to watch. Now it's going to go way down to the other end of the field. So we will have what's next coming up in just a few moments. Back after this, live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub service and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. at 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Welcome back to Hershey High School Football Stadium. It is 1st down and 10. Hershey with the ball at the Mechanicsburg 19-yard line. Sweeney in the shotgun. He is going to keep, bounces off the left side, and a couple of Mechanicsburg tacklers. The ball's loose! The ball is loose, and the Wildcats have recovered. I believe Dylan Taylor helped knock it loose. We'll take another look. And there's an injured player down as well, as you see Sweeney spinning out of that one. And it comes loose, and the Cats will have the possession. Talon Verdelli on the fumble recovery, and Mechanicsburg forcing a turnover of their own to start the second quarter.
And that's why you lead with your shoulders when you tackle, because when you can hit a ball carrier right on the arm where he's got that ball, it just punches right out, and you didn't even need to do the arm motion to get it. You lead with your helmet to the side of your guy's hip, load that shoulder in, and pow, the ball comes right out. And again, when Hershey were driving, right, they got that interception, couldn't do anything with it. Now they get themselves into the red zone, they fumble it. Mechanicsburg coming up big when it's needed most, and a huge turnover here for the Wildcats. But now, stuck deep in their own end, they're going to have to put together a really big drive or maybe call up a home run play or two to make something out of this.
And oh, by the way, the injured Hershey Trojan is Cameron Sweeney. So that could be a big blow to the Hershey offense and the defense, for that matter, and head coach Mark Painter. And he is being helped off the field slowly. So I'm not sure what the injury was. There's a lot of bodies down that way that we couldn't see past once the impact happened. But regardless, the Cats are going to have the ball 1st down and 10 from about their own 7-yard line. The first possession of the second quarter for the Maroon and Steel. So Noah Apple will lead the offense out. 3 receivers to his right. Actually, it's Drake Dawson now in the Wildcat formation. Always feels weird to call it the Wildcat formation when we're the Wildcats, right? Like it's just the offense under this scenario. Dawson standing near the goal line. Takes that shotgun snap. He keeps Drake Dawson up the middle. Drake Dawson into the second level, and he will move the chains. Wildcat first down, tackle made by Alex Jones.
What did I say about needing that big home run play? Right up the gut, plenty of space, going all the way with it. What a great run there from Drake Dawson. Just an explosive back. And as I was saying before, you got to be quick in the backfield. You have to make your decision right as that ball is coming to you. That time Dawson did. Huge gain for the Wildcats, and that can build some momentum here on this drive.
And it gets the Wildcats out of the shadows of the end zone as well. And a whistle, flag. And the side judge will walk in and share his findings with referee Matt Freeze. A false start against the Cats will back the offense up 5. So 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 15. The Wildcat Foundation will host its 2026 Wildcat Foundation Night, February 20th, 2026, at Stocks Manor in Upper Allen Township. This is the Foundation's top annual fundraiser, and the event will feature a Monte Carlo theme and welcomes a taste of. Dining vendors include Wildcat Cafe, Healthy U Cafe, Sweet Cordelia's Cake and Bake Shop, Alzie's Ice Cream Truck, and more. Visit wildcatfoundation.org for all the details. The Cats making it look easy as Drake Dawson churns into Hershey territory. A big run from the senior before Maduena pulls him down.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Look at that. A handful of jersey from Maduena was the only thing between stopping Drake Dawson and him going all the way to the end zone. But again, just that quick pitch, catch, and run. Great job there by Dawson as both of his runs have picked up huge gains for the Wildcats, and now they're in Trojan territory.
1st and 10 for the Cats. The ball on the Hershey 42-yard line. Dawson, little pop pass, and a flag flies in too, for that matter, as Grady Weaver meets contact about 8 yards in. And the penalty will go against the Wildcats. So back them up again. And Mechanicsburg needs to be careful, right? Like, you dodge a fumble. You've gotten around some penalties right now, but this is not the kind of team in the Hershey Trojans that you can make many more of these mistakes.
And we saw what it did to Hershey, conversely, when they had that interception. That one penalty set them back tremendously. So the better disciplined team is probably going to be the one that comes out with the victory in this one. So Mechanicsburg have to be careful. They want to make the perfect play. They want to make sure they protect their quarterback, but you can't commit too many penalties in doing so because, again, you've just negated a good chunk of Dawson's run.
2nd and 19, the ball spotted right in the middle of the H. Check that, 1st and 19. The down stick has corrected itself. That's why the official actually stopped play to come in and signify that it should be 1st down. So Dawson remains at quarterback. Dawson bullying through 4 Trojan defenders. And Noah Cohen with the tackle. Interesting to see that Noah Apple is not on the field right now, but if Coach Heckert knows what he wants to do with the offense, right, you're not gonna run that kind of play with Noah Apple.
Well, here he comes back on the field right now, but Dawson's still out there as well. So I think kind of having both quarterbacks in, trying to throw Hershey off. Maybe they had Apple kind of perfectly picked out on that opening drive. Maybe he saw something that Hershey were just seeing all the plays. You know, MLB postseason is going on, right? Maybe there was a tip of the pitch. Who knows? But Mechanicsburg decided to change things up, and it's working out so far as that one sails high and wide.
Noah Apple sails a pass intended for Danny Kurtz. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long.
So this is probably going to be 2-down territory here for Coach, right? We're probably going to see a big Drake Dawson run right up the gut if he can cut the chains in half. And then if you can make it 4th and medium, that would be well within reach against this Hershey team, but you're not going to get back-to-back home run plays. But right now, this might have to be a big chunk play for the Wildcats to sustain this drive.
3rd and 15 for the Mechanicsburg Wildcats. Again, the ball positioned at midfield. Drake Dawson down the middle and just a little bit behind Jack DeLuca. And that's an interesting play call because I wouldn't say that Dawson is going to be the guy who's throwing the passes. But if you're going to have him out there to do it, you got to have it online. This is a kid that's a catcher on the baseball team, so he's certainly not a stranger to throwing a dart.
Yeah, and that time just a little bit behind his receiver. But, again, Apple started this game. DeLuca probably may or may not have known how much he was going to be called upon. Again, this decision, it's not necessarily a head-scratcher. We've seen it done before, but the fact that it's happened this early in this situation in a tie game certainly is enticing.
And Apple with the punt, booted back towards Grant later, and it's going to be downed. Now down at the 1. The official is going to signal down at the 1. A nice job by Ryan Foose. And why I paused was Foose's right foot hit the goal line, or at least it looked like it from our angle.
He did his best cat impersonation and just tucked in those feet as much as he could when it curls up against the window on a nice spring day. And, man, look at that positioning right on the hash. Now, if Mechanicsburg, you don't want to get too aggressive, right? As scintillating an opportunity as the safety would be, Hershey still has to go 99 yards to come away with a touchdown, right? So focus one play at a time. If you get the sack in the end zone, if you get the tackle for loss, great. But right now, just keep them pinned. Make them have an uncomfortable punt, and then win the field position battle and come away with it in great territory.
Sweeney is back in at quarterback under center. So for the Hershey faithful, that's a good sign. And a tackle in the end zone. Do we get the safety? No, down near the 1. And if it's possible to lose yardage on that play, I think Hershey did. They lost as many yards. They lost as many inches as they possibly could without yielding 2 points.
The ball had the front tip on the front of the hash. Now the back tip is ever so close. You can see it on your screen, folks. It is sitting right on that line. But again, one play at a time, right? No gain essentially on that first play. Stop them 2 more times, and you come away with great field position out of this. As great as, again, it would be to have that safety, win the field position battle first.
Samir Edwards-Pace in the backfield along with Sweeney. Sweeney takes that shotgun pass, bombing it deep down the far right side, incomplete. Whoa. That pass was intended for Brian Medzuena, and he had some separation on Darius Crawford-George. So now 3rd down and 10 from the 1-ish yard line.
And again, you got to be careful with that Sweeney-Medzuena connection because they have been close in this one. You have to imagine that eventually as this game goes on and they get more opportunities, that's going to click, and they're going to get big yardage out of that. So whoever's going to be marked on Medzuena, whoever's going to be in coverage, they need to have their head on a swivel because that time he got past with relative ease and was a mere step away from coming away with a breadbasket catch and a 99-yard touchdown.
Cameron Sweeney standing in the end zone and a flag. If it's against Hershey, the ball isn't going to move. If it's against Mechanicsburg, they will push it forward 5 yards. They're going to call false start. I mean, half the distance is, I don't even know what you do there.
Millimeters at this point.
Right? I mean, they say football is a game of inches, and that's pretty much what you got on that penalty.
I mean, that thing is dang near sitting right on the line.
Sweeney from the gun takes that shotgun snap. Pressure. Deep pass again. It is caught. Well, that fixes that problem. They get out of the shadows of their end zone, and that's that Brian Medzuena connection to Cameron Sweeney that you were talking about. It was inevitable.
And that time, Mechanicsburg, it looked like they had him covered. There were 2 or 3 guys back there ready for the pass, but Medzuena was able to read it perfectly, managed to get himself square, catch it right on the numbers, and Hershey, wow, they got out of that frying pan with relative ease, and now with plenty of room to work with and plenty of time still left here in the second frame.
Just about 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Still 0-0. Sweeney in the gun. Heavy set shifting to the left of the offensive line. Single back in the backfield. Sweeney rolling to his right. Drake Dawson giving chase. That pass is completed in front of the Hershey bench to Devin Lutz. And he is wrestled down and out of bounds by Danny Kurtz. And if Hershey is going to score, it'll be a 99-yard drive. Still plenty of football field behind the Wildcats and plenty in front of the Hershey Trojans, but Hershey certainly dinking and dunking down the field.
Absolutely, and just finding those passes, right? That time, Devin Lutz wasn't necessarily deep, wasn't necessarily shallow. He was in between the coverage, was wide open. Mechanicsburg was trying not to give up the deep play, but trying to protect the line, so there's going to be gaps. That time, Hershey found it, and huge pay dirt out of that play.
Cameron Sweeney stands in the shotgun, claps the ball back towards him. Pressure from Drake Dawson, steps up in the pocket. Sweeney goes down, and a quarterback sack. Drake Dawson, Vince Woolery combine for that sack. We'll take a look at it one more time.
Sweeney drops back, and he sees the guy coming from his right, so he's got to step up in the pocket, but he's just wrapped up, double-teamed, and he gets that ball out for good measure, but I wouldn't do that if I were a quarterback, but that's just me. Either way, a huge play again for the Wildcat defense. So it's interesting to see, right? Hershey comes up with some of these big plays left and right. They get downfield, and just when they're getting that momentum going, the defense for Mechanicsburg steps up and knocks them right back, keeps them humble. So it's interesting to see how this battle goes on and how this balance between the two, which one's going to give first.
2nd down and 12 following the sack. Sweeney sets the offense in motion. Wide receiver screen to his left. And there's going to be a flag. This one likely comes back as Brian Medwina hauls it in, and I think you're going to get an offensive hold as Noah Apple was, I'll say, tangled with. And the penalty should put Hershey back 10 more yards.
Yeah, it was Grant later, and as soon as those flags flew, he put his hands up and was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So, again, discipline, right, is going to be a big part of this game because that was another momentum-gaining play for Hershey. You were able to cut the chains in half after being back. Now instead of 2nd and 12, we're looking at 2nd and probably like 17 or 22? I forget the math on the penalty. But either way, it's got to get marched back, right? You got to go back to the midfield.
Some of Derry Township's finest making their way behind us here in the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth, and a couple of Wildcat basketball players to our left. Winter sports season not too far around the corner, Ben, and we'll talk about what fall sports postseason looks like in just a few moments. 2nd and 21 for the Trojans and a running play, and that one is going to gain back at least half the yards as Caleb Simmons zigs and zags around left tackle. Darius Crawford-George with the tackle.
Yeah, Simmons only 56 carries at this point, but he makes the most of them. 278, averaging 5 yards a carry, 34.8 yards per gain, but no touchdowns to his name. But when Sweeney isn't running the ball, he has a talented backfield alongside him to make plays happen.
Cameron Sweeney in the shotgun, 3rd down and 5. Sweeney dropping back, scans the field. The ball is loose. It's a Wildcat fumble, a Trojan fumble picked up by the Wildcats. Recovering the loose bean, Jimmy Dwyer. 1st and 10, Mechanicsburg.
And that ball was not in a forward throwing motion. A great sack there, the fumble to boot, and another key turnover for the Wildcats. For Hershey, they have to be agonizing over on that sideline. You have plenty of drives in a row on the verge of scoring, all the momentum on your side, and another fumble given up. Mechanicsburg defense has come to play today and has kept them in this game. Now, again, another opportunity for the Wildcats. Only half the field to go and a little more to try and get the first score in this one. This has to be the most defensive game we've seen this year, Mike.
Absolutely, and this is where the Wildcat offensive drive stalled the last time around. And a timeout has been called by the Wildcats. With that timeout, we'll step out, come back in 30 seconds after this from Members First Federal Credit Union.
We are dedicated to serving our members, associates, and communities because they give us purpose. We know we are stronger when we come together as one. We believe financial literacy is a key tool for personal well-being, economic stability, and a more secure financial future for everyone. And we are committed to providing all with access to financial wellness resources. We strive to deliver unparalleled experiences for our members through every moment and milestone. We are built by will, forged by people, and powered by a proud member experience.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Back at Hershey High School's football stadium, and Wildcat fans, that QR code on your screen is your cue to scan in and get involved as you support the Wrestling Boosters for their indoor mini golf fundraiser. Putt your way through the halls of the middle school as your support helps Wrestling Boosters and the young men and women who compete on the mat. $60 per foursome. There's 3 different flights left. Scan that QR code for details. That pass is incomplete. It was intended for Reese Miller, so the Cats just haven't been able to connect through the air tonight, but defensively, man, they are standing tall.
Play from Grady Weaver almost worked. It was just out of the reach of Reese Miller. Not a bad idea to open it up on first down. You could tell Hershey were just a step behind on it, so it was very nearly close, but now you've kind of used one of your cards early on in this one. So Drake Dawson still in the backfield for Mechanicsburg. Be interesting to see what he comes up with here on 2nd and 10.
3 receivers to his right. Your last chance to scan the QR code to support Wrestling Boosters. Drake Dawson is going to keep, and he's going to be met near the line of scrimmage. Grant Later with the tackle. So 3rd down and long for the Wildcat offense. And that's the second time this season, Ben, that the Cats have run one of those option passes. They had Jack DeLuca throw one early in the season, and it had gone through the hands of Ryan Foose. Now this one, they're going to connect one of these days.
Yeah, and you have to use it in real-time game situations because you never know what it could gain for you in the future. So you got to keep trying it. Eventually it'll connect, but right now your focus is on 3rd and long here.
3rd and 12 for the Cats. The ball on their own 40-yard line. Jack DeLuca with the catch, working off a block from Noah Apple. So interesting that they have Apple out in the receiver area and Dawson at quarterback. So, you know, those were the 2 kids that we thought would compete for the starting quarterback role coming into the season. Both are talented. Both can throw the ball. Certainly you're going to get a little something different with Drake Dawson running the ball versus Noah Apple. But Apple certainly no slouch, Ben. He's come in running for 381 yards on the season, and it's 4th down and short. The Cats would love to pick up this first down, move the chains, and keep the clock running as well. Don't forget, Hershey will have possession to start the second half. 4th and 3. Cats on their side of the 50. Apple in the gun. And Apple will punt it away. So the Cats trying to play that field position game as the ball hits near the 10 and will roll to about the 6-7 yard line before it's downed by J.J. Gould. So here we go again. This was something we saw, and who was the opponent? Was it Redland? Redland was playing out of the shadows of their own goalpost for most of the game, and even though, you know, the Cats couldn't get it going offensively, they were able to pin the team deep and do a little something defensively, and that ultimately was the game changer in that 14-7 win.
Yeah, it's just right now it's just going to be a defensive game, but something to keep in mind, Mechanicsburg, they're a first-half scoring team. You look at first quarter margin, 48-7. Second quarter margin, 128-17. Third quarter, that goes down to 27-7. And most concerning of all, fourth quarter, 26-50. Now, granted, an asterisk on that 50 they've given up, but still something to keep in mind.
Sweeney in the end zone, dropping back, going deep down the far side. That pass is incomplete. It was into the hands of Grant Later, but he was out of bounds.
Later bobbled it. He had it in one hand, and then it transferred to his right in motion, and he might have been able to actually secure it, but at least one of those feet was well out of bounds. Great job by Mechanicsburg. Again, no contact on these deep passing plays, which, you know, sometimes you want to see your defenders get a little rough, try and get in the face of the receiver, but Mechanicsburg letting them make the mistakes, applying just enough pressure to force the receivers to think twice, have to make the big play, and that's what stopped a lot of these Hershey passes from connecting so far in this one.
And remember, at the high school level, it's just 15 yards for pass interference as well. Sweeney, quick hitter. That pass is completed to Brendan Maduena. He picks up 7, maybe 8 yards. Tackle made for the Cats, Dylan Taylor. So 3rd down and maybe 3 for the Trojans with 4:20 remaining in the first half. Cats defense looking over to the sideline.
This could be a huge stop for Mechanicsburg. If you're able to come up with it here, you'll be set up for some pretty good field position with a lot of time left on the clock, all of your timeouts. This would be huge for the Wildcats.
Couple of turnovers for each team. Sweeney steps up. Colin Stair, how you do? Colin Stair picks up the sack. Dylan Taylor comes in to finish it off. That was a big play for the Cats.
I almost celebrate too early because of this maul developing. For those of you at home who are rugby fans, you know what I'm talking about. When just all those bodies get together and move it one way or another. There was a great initial stop, but credit to Sweeney for standing tall and still trying to move the pile. Ended up going for naught, and it looks like the Hershey punt team is coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if the Trojans maybe tried a little trickeration here. Mechanicsburg have to be wary. 4 yards may be too much of a stretch, but we've seen crazier things happen.
I thought that was called a scrum.
The scrum is when they go down and put their shoulders into each other. That a lot of people confuse with like the tush push, thinking that's a rugby play.
Sweeney boots it away. J.J. Gould will field on the run. J.J. Gould jukes left, and he is tackled at the top of the right side of the Hershey H. So again, the Cats will have possession near midfield. That seems to be where they've been most comfortable today. Unfortunately, you need to get into the end zone.
But now you only have about 40 yards and change to get there. You got 3 minutes left. So if you can get the running game going, you could essentially run this ball for a good majority of it, only pass when you need to. Now, granted, that's been easier said than done against this great Hershey defense. But we'll see what happens here for the Wildcats.
Noah Apple in the shotgun, standing in the middle of that right side of the big orange Hershey H. Reese Miller to his left. Miller takes that handoff. Miller cutting back left off of right tackle, and he's going to be brought down by Noah Cohen, a gain of 6. Second down and 4. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Again, Hershey will have the ball to start the second half. Today's game presented by our friends at 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Mike Garland, Ben Shad, we're hanging out in a very mobile Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. If you look for us on social media, we've got pictures. We've got pictures and comments. And a whistle and a flag. That may be movement on the Cats, but we'll wait for the call. It is a false start on Mechanicsburg. So that's the kind of mistake that they cannot afford to make when yards are at a premium.
And that's what's killed drives for both these teams on offense is they get that momentum to their side. They come up with a big play, and then all of a sudden, flag for just something going on before the play can even begin. Hershey had that huge hold earlier in this quarter, so now 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats.
Apple under center, handing off to Reese Miller. Miller working off a beautiful block on the near side. Jack DeLuca with a nice wide receiver block. That was Ryan Foose. And the Cats pick up 9, 3rd down and 1. Cameron Sweeney with the tackle.
Got to be mindful of the clock here as well. You still have a ways to go, still 2 minutes. As you mentioned, Mike, 2 timeouts left. Apologies, folks at home. I can't look at the screen to the right of me, apparently. Just out of choice, not physical.
Okay.
I can see it, Mike. I just chose not to.
Okay.
So much to the chagrin of the folks at home.
Reese Miller will pick up the first down for the Wildcats. Met near the line of scrimmage by Haggett Dulo and Noah Cohen as well. So first down and 10. Cats with 2 timeouts remaining. Mechanicsburg has not attempted a field goal this year, probably just a little outside of Tanner Minnick's range right now. But the Cats want 6, not 3, and Reese Miller will surge close to the 20-yard line, tackled in between the 21 and 22, a gain of 8. And 2nd down and 2 for the Wildcats.
And something I'm noticing here, Mechanicsburg in the hurry-up, Hershey have not been able to respond to it. And that's how they've been able to get these huge chunk runs. And now Hershey, I believe, are taking a timeout with 1:23 left. But again, because of that hurry-up, Hershey's defense was not ready for it. So head coach Mark Painter's going to talk things over with his Trojan squad and try and figure out the hurry-up on this final drive of the half, potentially.
Second time out of the game for Hershey. We'll be back after this live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Operation Wildcat is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to pool the resources in our community to help our school district students, families, and staff members in need. We'll take your new or gently used back-to-school items, bikes, books, clothing, dresses and suits, furniture, Halloween costumes, gifts for the holiday, Christmas tree decorations, pennies, socks, underwear, Thanksgiving food, toothbrushes and toothpaste, and yard sale items. Learn more at OperationWildcat.org and go Wildcats.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Welcome back to the Members First Federal Credit Union Donkey here at Hershey High School. Mike Garland, Ben Shad with you. And no lie, it's called a donkey. So, again, if you go to @GoMechanicsburg on X, formerly Twitter, and work your way through, you'll see a picture. Second down and 2 for the Cats. 83 seconds remaining. And it's an inside handoff to Reese Miller, who picks up the first down, and he's just outside the 10-yard line. And a Trojan slow to rise, and that is J.J. Peak, 6'2", 200 pounds. Hurry up offense, back to the line of scrimmage. J.J. Gould catches it. There were 2 defenders there, but only one was needed as Cameron Sweeney with a textbook tackle and a loss of 1 and a timeout taken. And we will stay here and kind of evaluate or reevaluate what is going on. So here's the situation. Mechanicsburg has the ball. It's going to be second down and 11, maybe 12. They should have 1 timeout left. Hershey with 1 timeout as well. Neither team has been able to score in this first half. A couple of turnovers on both sides. Hershey's been able to throw the ball pretty well. Mechanicsburg's been able to run the ball pretty well. And Hershey gets the ball to start the second half. So this is a very important down for the Cats.
It is definitely must-score territory. And you might have to start thinking about the leg of Tanner Minnick. I know Mechanicsburg have not really been a field goal-oriented team, but this is well within his range, you would think. And with the way that the Hershey defense has stopped you, you might have to put this in the hands of your kicker.
Reese Miller takes the handoff, and he is corralled at the line of scrimmage. And again, J.J. Peak in on the stop. So third down and 10 for the Cats, back to the line of scrimmage. And I do think if you're head coach Dave Heckert, you at least try the field goal if you can't get 6. Jack DeLuca catches it, and now it is fourth and short. I think you call the timeout to think about it.
Or maybe you try and get them to jump. That might be the goal here. Try and get Hershey to jump, then call the timeout.
4th and 1. Apple, Miller, near the line of scrimmage, picks up the first down. Reese Miller with the big run. The chains are going to move, and a timeout has been called with 21.9 seconds remaining.
Wow, what aggressive play calling from Dave Heckert. But again, the hurry-up offense. Hershey were not ready for it. Hershey were not set. And because of that, Mechanicsburg were able to win the battle on the line, let Reese Miller just shoot right through, and were able to get the first down. Now, the referees are having a conversation on the field. Hershey did call their last time out, so it was not an official's timeout. And it looks like they're pretty confident that the chains will move. It's close on that hash, Mike. But what an aggressive call from Coach Heckert. But now time is against you. You only have 21 seconds left to go to try and get a touchdown. You do have the 1 timeout. Your run game has gotten you here, but realistically, you probably are going to try and come away with 3 passing plays here, but then you risk the interception. You've already thrown 1 on the opening drive. Man, I don't know how the Wildcats are going to get themselves out of this mess. Buckle up, folks.
It's a good mess, though, and it's first down and goal for the Cats. Noah Apple in the shotgun. Reese Miller sidecar left. The Cats shift heavy to the right, and a timeout has been called by Hershey. And, you know, this situation in football, I always kind of chuckle, sometimes inside, sometimes outside. You know, they say, oh, they wanted to see what formation they were going to line up in and call the timeout. Well, who's to say in the name of gamesmanship that Coach Heckert didn't just blow a formation out there and send out something he knew he wasn't going to run just to get Hershey to burn that timeout?
That also could have been part of it as well. That's the mental games that go on here. And all this in a scoreless game. And I apologize, I misread the scoreboard. Now nobody has any timeouts. Mechanicsburg actually used that last one. My mistake, folks. I'll try and look at the screen actually in front of me instead of the scoreboard on the opposite
No, it's
end
okay.
of the field.
Anything that's to our left is a solid 100 yards away.
But either way, so now no timeouts. 21 seconds left.
Wildcat fans, tell your friends. Tell them to tune in right now on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg. Spread the word. We have got ourselves a barn burner here in the shadows of the Kissing Tower. And it might be Halloween Horror Nights at Hershey Park, but the Wildcats looking to kiss this one into the end zone. Noah Apple under center. I formation with Drake Dawson, the fullback. Talon Verdelli, the tight end on the right. Reese Miller into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats!
Just stick with what you know. Reese Miller with a fullback in front of him gets the handoff, and look at that momentum. Look at that blocking up front, able to bowl his way over into the end zone. And Mechanicsburg with first blood here against the Trojans with 17 seconds left. What a fantastic drive by the Wildcats. And let's not forget the defense giving the offense that chance to draw first blood.
Reese Miller, who unofficially is Tanner Minnick, who's 19 of, I believe, 25 from extra point, nails that one, and the Cats score first. 7-0 the score, 17 seconds remaining in the first half. Back after this, live on Go Mechanicsburg.
OSS Health is physician owned and operated. We're able to help patients in a way that others cannot.
We're not looking at a number.
Everyone's looking out for the best thing for the patient.
Seeing that they're reaching their goals, making the community as healthy as possible.
What I love most is when I get to see them get back to the activity that they love.
When I see a patient smiling, it makes it all worth it. I love my job.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Welcome back to Hershey High School. Mike Garland, Ben Shad. We're hanging out in a very mobile Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Tanner Minnick will kick off for the Wildcats. Back to return for the Hershey Trojans, Brian Madzuina and Caleb Simmons. The Cats will kick off from the near hash, close to the Wildcat bench. And Minnick runs up. High end-over-end kick. It's going to be fielded near the 24-yard line, and a fair catch called by Harrison Farman. So first down and 10 for the Trojans. No timeouts for either squad. Coming up at halftime, we'll check in with our friends at Operation Wildcat, our weekly segment with Operation Wildcat. I think, if I remember right, we're talking Project Gift Box this week. And if we're not talking Project Gift Box this week, we're talking Project Gift Box next week. Either way, it is a seasonal-themed Operation Wildcat segment. Don't forget, by the way, the big yard sale for Operation Wildcat is next Friday and Saturday at McBick. Friday, it is, I believe, 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Saturday, 7:30 a.m. until 12 p.m. Get out and get your goodies and support Operation Wildcat along the way. Sweeney in the shotgun, two backs in the backfield. It is a handoff on first down. I think Hershey would be content with just getting out of here, trailing 7-0. And with that run, Samir Edwards-Pace will send the Trojans to the locker room. What a battle in the first half. And the Cats will head to their locker room with a 7-0 lead on the back of a Reese Miller touchdown run. We're going to take a break. Come back in just a few moments. Again, we're going to check in with our friends at Operation Wildcat. Back after this, live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub service and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. at 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
OSS Health is physician-owned and operated. We're able to help patients in a way that others cannot.
We're not looking at a number.
Everyone's looking out for the best thing for the patient.
Seeing that they're reaching their goals, making the community as healthy as possible.
What I love most is when I get to see them get back to the activity that they love.
When I see a patient smiling, it makes it all worth it. I love my job.
Operation Wildcat is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to pool the resources in our community to help our school district students, families, and staff members in need. We'll take your new or gently used back-to-school items, bikes, books, clothing, dresses and suits, furniture, Halloween costumes, gifts for the holiday, Christmas tree decorations, pennies, socks, underwear, Thanksgiving food, toothbrushes and toothpaste, and yard sale items. Learn more at OperationWildcat.org and go Wildcats.
Elevate your everyday with the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department. Immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. From adrenaline-pumping sports to serene outdoor escapes, we've got your perfect recreation blend. Join us for fitness, family fun, and fantastic experiences. Unleash your inner adventurer. It's time for a thrilling escape. Visit mbgsd.org and click on the Recreation tab. Or drop by your office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center, Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, where every moment is a new adventure.
At Bobby Rahal, it's about doing the right thing, starting with our vision, that clients deserve great service at a fair price. We understand this can only happen with great team members. Doing what's right includes supporting local charities, youth sports, and first responders. It extends to the environment and why we reclaim rainwater for car washes and recycle used oil. We want to thank our loyal clients for recognizing us by voting Bobby Rahal simply the best of Harrisburg for 21 years in a row. Experience the Bobby Rahal difference and find out more at bobbyrahal.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management is a proud supporter of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When faced with tough business and personal financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. With a focus on retirement planning and complex financial situations, the team helps you define and achieve your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you and your family. Financial advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225 today.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. It was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Mary Ann at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
It is halftime live on Go Mechanicsburg. We'll get you back to the second half of tonight's game from Hershey in just a few moments. But now it's time to check in with our friends at Operation Wildcat, and we welcome Patty Herring to the broadcast tonight. Patty, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Christmas season, one of my most favorite times of the year. Let's talk about what Project Tannenbaum is all about. What's it do? Who's it benefit? How can folks get involved?
Yes, thank you for having me again. Project Tannenbaum involves the getting of Christmas trees, both artificial and live Christmas trees, and basically anything that goes on or around a Christmas tree, such as lights, ornaments, tree toppers, tree skirts. We even do wreaths and stockings and things like that. But we are giving those away to those families in our district in need. And we partner for the live trees, we partner with Troop 80 out of Mechanicsburg Presbyterian Church and Elliott's Tree Farm. in a nearby county, and we have 15 live trees that will also be available, plus many, many artificial trees that have been donated by very generous persons living in our school district.
You mentioned 15 live trees, but let me ask you this. What if there's more than 15 people? How do you decide who gets the live tree and who maybe doesn't?
That's a great question. We haven't had that problem too much in the past. Pretty much that is a first come, first serve. If you request a live tree and we have given them all out, you will be eligible for an artificial tree. So come early.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, if you're a family in need, it's one thing for something like Project Back to School or Project Socks or whatever. When you go to your counselor in the district, if you're a student and you go to the counselor, if you're a family and you go to a counselor, is this any different, or is there a different process for Project Tannenbaum versus some of the other projects that we've talked about over the course of the year?
The holidays, the projects around the holidays do have a bit of a streamlined process. Not sure of the exact date, but letters will be sent out to various families in the district asking if they would like to be a part of any of the projects, such as Thanksgiving, Gift Box, Tannenbaum, and I believe Legacy as well. And then on those letters that they're emailed, I believe, and the families will be directed on how to sign up for those. A much more streamlined process than even several years ago. So we're learning each year.
You've talked about the trees, the tree skirts, the tree stands, the ornaments, the lights, the tinsel, the garland, all of that stuff, and how it can go to a district family. What if I am a person in the district and I have such items that I would like to donate? How can I go about bringing those things to you?
Another excellent question. On the website would be my contact information. You would just email or text me or call me, and we would arrange a time, most likely to try to meet at the middle school where we store everything. But it could be dropped at my house. There are different ways to do it, but the initial contact would be made to me, and then we would come up with how that would happen.
And the website is operationwildcat.org. Is there anything else that you want to let us know about with regards to Project Tannenbaum? Any dates, deadlines,
Yes.
Things like that?
Yes, the date for the distribution of the items is Wednesday, December 3rd from 6 until 8 p.m. Again, for those families that are eligible for it and have requested it, that will all be indicated on the ticket that they receive back via their email and everything. But any questions, just contact me, either if you're interested in donating or if you are questioning how you go about, you haven't gotten that letter, something like that, how you go about accessing this project, we can help you.
Now, I am going to ask a very specific question about a tree, only because it applies to me, but could be useful to others. I have a fake tree. It used to have lights that worked. The lights do not work. And when I used it for a few years thereafter, I would just string lights. So a tree like that, where it was a pre-lit tree, but the lights no longer work, is that something that you guys would consider, like, and again, I'm not asking for me, but I'm using that real world situation where somebody might have something and think, well, but I've got this, but it's not great. Could it still be of use? Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. That's another great question. We will accept, yes, any of those types of trees. We do appreciate to know if the lights don't work, but we can certainly have plenty of lights always available for our guests that are coming in to get the trees, so they can certainly string those lights on. And you reminded me of something else to say. We generally accept trees that are artificial trees that are 7 feet and under. Any taller than that don't necessarily fit into the places that they might be going. So we do like 7 feet or under if possible. That's just, if we get 8 feet or above, we may not be able to use them, and we want you to donate them to places that they can be used. So
absolutely. So in basketball terms, if your Christmas tree is something like a shooting guard or a small forward, it's good. But if it's a center, then no center style trees.
Exactly.
Make my basketball reference. Make my basketball reference in the middle of the football game, but basketball season and the holidays are going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Patty, anything else you want to add about Project Tannenbaum?
I think we've covered it, Mike. I appreciate the questions. They were great.
Thanks a lot, Patty. Always great to hear about what Operation Wildcat has to offer this time of year. Couple of notes before we get you back to the stadium in Hershey for the second half. If you're looking to make a donation to the Operation Wildcat Warehouse, you can do so on Saturdays and Sundays between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. The warehouse address is 507 North York Street in Mechanicsburg, and please only make your donations during those hours. Items like clothing should be donated to the middle school during normal business school hours. Coming up on the 20th, it's the Operation Wildcat Fall Meeting. That's at 7 p.m. at the Kindergarten Academy. And the big Operation Wildcat Fall Yard Sale happening October 24th and 25th at McBick. That's Friday and Saturday. Friday's hours are 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Saturday, 7:30 a.m. until 12 p.m. As always, you can learn more at operationwildcat.org. We're going to take a break, come back with the second half of tonight's game presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Locally owned and operated, 11 Oaks Farms raises Wagyu beef and heritage breed pork right here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Our low-stress practices and carefully designed diets produce some of the finest meats you will ever experience. We also offer a selection of quality Angus beef, pork, chicken, seasonings, sauces, pantry items, and much more. Shop online at 11oaksfarms.com. Visit us in-store at 34 North Corporation Street in Newville or call 717-360-8249.
Does your property need a little TLC? Call Lawnscapes Inc. of Mechanicsburg today at 717-697-1833 and see how Wes Moret and his team can transform or maintain your residential or commercial property. From hardscapes to yard services of all types, tree and shrub surface and more, this locally owned and operated business has you covered. Call today for your free estimate. Lawnscapes Inc. at 717-697-1833. That's 717-697-1833.
OSS Health is physician-owned and operated. We're able to help patients in a way that others cannot.
We're not looking at a number.
Everyone's looking out for the best thing for the patient.
Seeing that they're reaching their goals, making the community as healthy as possible.
What I love most is when I get to see them get back to the activity that they love.
When I see a patient smiling, it makes it all worth it. I love my job.
Operation Wildcat is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to pool the resources in our community to help our school district students, families, and staff members in need. We'll take your new or gently used back-to-school items, bikes, books, clothing, dresses and suits, furniture, Halloween costumes, gifts for the holiday, Christmas tree decorations, pennies, socks, underwear, Thanksgiving food, toothbrushes and toothpaste, and yard sale items. Learn more at operationwildcat.org and go Wildcats.
Elevate your everyday with the Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department. Immerse yourself in a world of excitement and discovery. From adrenaline-pumping sports to serene outdoor escapes, we've got your perfect recreation blend. Join us for fitness, family fun, and fantastic experiences. Unleash your inner adventurer. It's time for a thrilling escape. Visit mbgsd.org and click on the Recreation tab. Or drop by our office at the Trails and Trees Environmental Center, Mechanicsburg Area Recreation, where every moment is a new adventure.
At Bobby Ray Hall, it's about doing the right thing, starting with our vision, that clients deserve great service at a fair price. We understand this can only happen with great team members. Doing what's right includes supporting local charities, youth sports, and first responders. It extends to the environment and why we reclaim rainwater for car washes and recycle used oil. We want to thank our loyal clients for recognizing us by voting Bobby Ray Hall simply the best of Harrisburg for 21 years in a row. Experience the Bobby Ray Hall difference and find out more at BobbyRayHall.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management is a proud supporter of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When faced with tough business and personal financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. With a focus on retirement planning and complex financial situations, the team helps you define and achieve your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you and your family. Financial advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225 today.
I needed a change in my life. I wanted to be closer to my grandchildren. I was not hearing what the kids were saying. I fly hot air balloons and I couldn't hear leaks. It was time to take care of my hearing. As soon as I met Marianne at Renewed Hearing Solutions, she made me feel so comfortable. My life has improved so much since I got hearing aids. It was the best thing I've ever done. I would highly recommend Renewed Hearing Solutions.
Get back in the conversation. Call Renewed Hearing Solutions today.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans. Mike Garland, Ben Shad. We are hanging out in the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth, and it's a little bit shady over here where we are, but this is the aforementioned donkey. This thing is called a donkey, and it's what we're broadcasting in today, and you can see our positioning is near about the 20-yard line. So we had a great view, Ben, of that Wildcat touchdown from Reese Miller with about 17 seconds left, and I was very impressed with the Mechanicsburg run game through the first 24 minutes.
Yeah, and I think the organization on offense as well is something that we really got to talk about, right? Because there were a lot of hurry-up plays, and not once did we see Mechanicsburg have any kind of miscommunication, any kind of hiccups. Perhaps the one out-route pass here on the near side, the screen that never was, and that forced Mechanicsburg to take a quick timeout. But other than that, great execution on the run game, just continuing to hammer the ball forward. Hershey had zero answers for the hurry-up offense, and right now it's led to our only score of the game. And you said it, Mike, this is going to be a defensive battle through and through, but Hershey have almost connected on a couple of those big home run passes. Expect to see more of those here in the second half.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Painter, you have to recognize that you've had some success in the pass game. Mechanicsburg has been able to stop your run game, but you have had success through the air. Conversely, Hershey has been able to stop Mechanicsburg through the air, but the Wildcats have been most successful running the ball. So it could be a slog to the finish. We know that Hershey will have the ball to start the second half, and we'll get to see that Mechanicsburg defense one more time, but they ended on a high note with a tackle for short gain to wrap the second quarter, and we'll see what the second half brings. It was homecoming here at Hershey, so a little bit longer halftime than we would normally have week over week. We can tell you one score of note from out of town. At halftime in Shippensburg, it's the Greyhounds 14, Northern 7. So Coach Costello might still be able to pull one out, not only for the Polar Bears, but for the Wildcats too.
Yeah, that would be a huge win and would really topple things over here in the Mid-Penn Keystone. So a lot to watch, a lot of close games. You won't want to miss a second of the action. We thank you all so much for sticking with us here on Go Mechanicsburg and sticking with us through these very interesting settings that we keep finding ourselves in.
Awesome.
And thankfully, we end the season at home next week, Mike.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
at least have the comforts of home cooking, and hopefully, as long as we still have a broadcast booth to go to.
It's got heat.
Right. It's got heat. It's
heat
enclosed.
in the broadcast booth at home.
It has lights.
It's got all the things. And it'll have Chick-fil-A from Shepherdstown Crossing Chick-fil-A. If you've got a chance tomorrow, stop in, grab a bite. And then, of course, Monday through Friday leading up to the game. So we're going to take a quick 30-second break, maybe a little bit more. We'll get you back to start the second half of this one. It's Mechanicsburg 7, Hershey nothing. We'll be right back after this live on Go Mechanicsburg.
At Bobby Ray Hall, it's about doing the right thing, starting with our vision that clients deserve great service at a fair price. We understand this can only happen with great team members. Doing what's right includes supporting local charities, youth sports, and first responders. It extends to the environment and why we reclaim rainwater for car washes and recycle used oil. We want to thank our loyal clients for recognizing us by voting Bobby Ray Hall simply the best of Harrisburg for 21 years in a row. Experience the Bobby Ray Hall difference and find out more at BobbyRayHall.com.
The Turnbridge Group at RBC Wealth Management is a proud supporter of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics. When faced with tough business and personal financial decisions, turn to the Turnbridge Group. With a focus on retirement planning and complex financial situations, the team helps you define and achieve your goals, all while building a strong and caring relationship with you and your family. Financial advisors Tim Engel, Jonathan Stow, and Nick Hansen are available for your call. The Turnbridge Group, part of the community and for the community. Visit them online at turnbridgegroup.com or call 717-724-4225 today.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Welcome back to Hershey High School Stadium. Mike Garland, Ben Shad. We're hanging out in the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth tonight, stream presented by our friends at 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. The Cats leading 7-0, and we'll kick it off to start the second half. Tanner Minnick runs up. High end-over-end kick. It's going to be fielded at about the 25-yard line by Brian Mduena. And Mduena tackled near the 35, so he actually fielded at about the 15, so a 20-yard return for Mduena. 1st and 10, Hershey. And it's got to be refreshing for the Trojans to have an offensive possession that isn't in the shadows of their end zone. But a lot of this game has also been played near midfield, Ben.
Absolutely, and for Hershey, the one thing they got to focus on this drive, hold on to the football. You've had too many key drives be wasted away because of fumbles. You have to hold on to the football here. You cannot score if you cannot secure the ball, and right now, I have to imagine that was probably the first thing that head coach Mark Painter emphasized in the halftime locker room.
Cameron Sweeney, he was part of the homecoming court, so he didn't have as much time in the locker room as some of his other teammates. And it's a running play on 1st down, and carrying for the Trojans is Samir Edwards-Pace. He spins out of a Dylan Taylor tackle and surges forward for a gain of 10, maybe 11. It's going to be close to a 1st down, and it is, as the near side judge waves the chains forward. 1st and 10. Drew Freeland with the tackle. We haven't mentioned his name much at all tonight. Freeland 3rd on the Wildcats in total tackles this year. He has 36, 16 solo, 20 assists, 1 tackle for loss. So 1st and 10 for the Trojans, trailing by 7. Sweeney in the gun. Samir Edwards-Pace about 2 yards behind him. And Edwards-Pace takes that handoff. And we didn't say Drew Freeland's name much early, but we've said it on back-to-back plays as Freeland steps in and makes that tackle on Samir Edwards-Pace.
Interesting switch up in the backs for head coach Painter. Edwards-Pace stands at 5'8", 160, so he can definitely be a shifty character. That's what got him that first big gain to the outside, and maybe that's what Hershey's going to try and do here in the second half. Instead of the home run plays to start out, trying outside runs with one of your swifter, lighter backs in Edwards-Pace. Be interesting to see how they continue to carry themselves forward, although 2nd and 9 here coming up.
Cameron Sweeney rolling to his right. That pass complete to the big man, Jason Donat. And the chains are going to move a gain of about 14 as Donat picks up the 1st down.
And once again, that slicing and dicing of the Mechanicsburg pass defense, finding those gaps in between, getting those players 6 to 8 yards downfield and then hitting them on the pass. Again, nobody around for the Wildcats. They're being cautious of that big play, but eventually you kind of have to get a little bit more aggressive in stopping that pass from Hershey.
1st and 10 for the Trojans into Wildcat territory now at the 37-yard line. Sweeney under center. Inside handoff to Donat, and he is met near the line of scrimmage by Vince Woolery. A gain of 2, maybe 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 as the offense moves into a speculation territory for us here in the Members First Federal Credit Union broadcast booth.
Back-to-back weeks, we've had to deal with speculation territory.
But, last week we got to stop at 11 Oaks Farms on the way here. Today, we didn't have time to go to Chocolate World. Ben, I wanted to go to Chocolate World. 2nd down and 7. And that run is going to move the chains as Samir Edwards-Pace churns forward, and Hershey has been able to move the ball almost at will here in the second half. And we think back to the game against Lower Dauphin a couple of weeks ago just across town at Hershey Park Stadium, and it was in that second half where the Lower Dauphin run game really took command, and it was the beginning of the end for the Wildcats that night.
And a big thing for that Lower Dolphin win was the time of possession. Mechanicsburg barely had a sniff of the ball in that second half. So if Hershey scores here, it's not the end of the world, but you have to be able to hold on to the football and control your own game. You cannot be giving it away on 3 and outs like they did against Lower Dolphin.
Sweeney rolling to his right, and that pass just wide of Brian Meduena. 2nd down and 10. Coming up Tuesday and Wednesday here on Go Mechanicsburg, Ben Shad and I are going to split some broadcasting duties as all of the other fall sports teams make the postseason. What do we have Tuesday, Ben?
Tuesday, it will be a soccer doubleheader with the boys going first at 5 and the girls following at 7:30. Both those games at Northside. Both those games will be streamed. You will have the honor of calling the boys first at 5. I will get the girls at 7:30.
Then on Wednesday, we have volleyball and field hockey, both 7 o'clock starts. I will be on the call for field hockey. Ben will have volleyball. Again, it's all live on Go Mechanicsburg. And an inside run by Grant Lader is going to pick up at least half the yards needed, if not more, bringing up a 3rd and medium. Dylan Taylor with the tackle.
Hershey mixing it up here on offense. A couple of inside runs, a couple of outside runs, a couple of play action passes, throwing just about everything at Mechanicsburg right now. And the Wildcats bending but not breaking, but eventually you kind of have to step up and get a little bit more aggressive on defense. We'll see what happens here on 3rd and 4 officially.
Almost certainly 4-down territory. The last time Hershey was down here in the first quarter, Sweeney got hit and fumbled the ball. He takes the shotgun snap, rolling to his right. That pass is completed out of the backfield to Samir Edwards-Pace. He's still on his feet, but finally tackled down by Drew Freeland. And I'm not sure that he got the yards he needed, so it's going to bring up 4th down and maybe 2 or 3. Jack DeLuca was also in on the stop for the Cats.
That was a good stop there by the Wildcats. Saw where the pass was going, read the quarterback's eyes. 3 Wildcats all getting in the vicinity of the receiver. Took some gang tackling, limited the gain to, they call it just 1. And another huge stand here for the Wildcat defense. Hershey need to get 3 to keep the drive alive.
4th and 3 for the Trojans. Cameron Sweeney in the shotgun formation. That pass is complete. Wide receiver screen met at the line of scrimmage by Ryan Foose. And the Cats are going to hold. That pass was completed to Alex Jones. And the Cats are going to have the ball back 1st and 10.
And again, the gang tackling mentality, getting all the players to that side of the ball. Yes, the catch was made, but there was maybe a half step of forward progress, and then no doubt about it, 3 Wildcats rushing in again, putting the receiver down. A huge stop for the Wildcats, and for Hershey, at this point, you have to throw your hands up and be like, what do we have to do to get some pay dirt? That time, again, you slice and dice the defense all the way through, only needed 3 yards and couldn't get them to go.
Noah Apple will start the second half at quarterback and under center. And he fumbles the ball. It looked like it may have just bumped the hip of Reese Miller on the way by and fell out of Apple's hands. That's not a great way to start things. Now 2nd and probably about 12, maybe 13 for the Wildcats.
And this is what gives you flashbacks of that Lower Dolphin game, right? A narrow lead. All of a sudden, their first play, a little bit of friendly fire. You just have to execute. You just have to be smart. Don't think about the home run play. Don't think about getting the next score. Just think about marching down that field and winding down that clock.
2nd and 13. And a 2nd down run for the Cats. Reese Miller gets just past the line of scrimmage. Coming out of the pile for the Hershey Trojans is J.J. Peak. Miller picked up 2 of the lost 3, so 3rd down and 11. And this certainly has been a run-first offense most of the year for the Wildcats, and more often than not, it's been a successful approach. But I'm not sure that you have a run on 3rd down and 11 in your playbook that should be your go-to when you're in the shadows of your end zone. But we'll see. Prove me wrong, Reese Miller. Prove me wrong, kid. Reese Miller close to the line to gain. He needed 11. Meduena with the tackle. He picked up 10. And now an official's timeout. Are they going to bring the chains out to measure? I do believe they are. This will be an opportunity to remind you fans that the Mechanicsburg basketball boosters have something pretty cool coming up. In fact, basketball boosters, they've got a cornhole tournament coming up in not too far down the road, October 25th to be exact, at 80 Glendale Drive in Mechanicsburg. That QR code is your cue to scan in and get involved. The fun starts at 2 p.m. and includes food, music, raffles, live college football, college cook-off prizes, bingo, cornhole tournament prizes, and oh, by the way, they do have a play for third down and 11, a running one at that. You can be part of the fun to this cornhole tournament, $25 per player, $50 for a team. The deadline to enter is coming up on the 20th. Scan again the QR code to get yourself involved and support basketball boosters. So first down and 10 for the Cats following the Reese Miller run. That's one of those scenarios where I am happy to be wrong. Right? Like I was a lineman. It was my job to just snap the ball, not think about what play to run. Reese Miller with the run, a little shimmy shake near the line of scrimmage. Tripped up on the way through by Noah Cohen, but it gives Miller a chance to pick up maybe a yard or two. Alex Jones in on the stop as well. Want to thank the athletic department here at Hershey for getting us in the door. The accommodations. Thank our athletic staff as well, Bob Strickler, Seth Bahanick, for helping negotiate the positioning. Negotiate might not be the right word. They made a call, and they said, here's where you're going to go. You're in. Reese Miller, again with the carry. Maybe mediate. No, that sounds worse. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Communicate?
Communicate, facilitate.
Yeah,
facilitate.
Yeah.
My thesaurus of words is usually like one word deep. Facilitate is what we were working for. First down and 10. Cats continuing to gobble up yardage, one run play at a time. 4:55 remaining in the third quarter. Miller again. And Miller.
Late flag.
And a late flag.
From the line judge here on the near side, and it was well after the play.
We may see an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Hershey. Donat with the tackle. And the call forthcoming from Matthew Freeze.
Oh, hold.
A face mask or something of the sort against Hershey.
Excuse me.
So that'll be 15 tacked on to the end of the play, and it puts the Wildcats in plus territory.
It's an awfully late flag for a face mask. I guess if it happens at any point in the play, you have to call it, but it seemed like the play was well over. But, again, referees are out there. We're in this donkey. So.
You have a favorite donkey? I like the one from Shrek, by the way. Grady Weaver on the carry. Weaver spins out of one tackle, but he is stood up and brought down by Cameron Sweeney.
Ouch. Man, Reese Miller, how you got up after that hit.
It's actually Grady Weaver.
Grady Weaver, excuse me. How you got up after that one.
That was a big hit from Sweeney. And I'll tell you what, Sweeney brings the wood. 6'3", 190. He is everywhere on the field. He can throw it, he can catch it, he can run it, and he can tackle. He is what high school football is.
Absolutely. Total gridiron player. And he laid down the boom on that one. But everybody's back up and ready to go for another play.
2nd and 2 for the Cats. Noah Apple under center. Reese Miller with the handoff. Reese Miller squirts through and picks up the first down. And a helmet has come off of Drake Dawson. Not sure if he'll have to come out of the game for a play or not, but he is regardless. So Dawson heads to the sidelines. The chains will move. And remember, this Wildcat drive started near about the 7-minute, 45-second mark of the quarter, somewhere down around the 20. And here we are now, 3 minutes and 32 seconds left in this quarter at the opposite end of the field at the 31-yard line. So first down and 10 for the Cats. Apple in the gun. Ryan Foose split to his right. A single back in the backfield. Reese Miller. Miller tries to turn the corner and cannot do it. Devin Lutz was right there to make the tackle for Hershey.
Yeah, if you look on the replay right here, he just, again, gets right through. This is a strong Hershey defensive line. just unguarded all the way through, and no chance for Miller. And there were plenty of other Trojans in the area to make something happen. So now 2nd and long, but a good sustained drive here for the Wildcats. You can come away with points on this drive. You definitely put some pressure on Hershey, especially since we're already at less than 3 minutes left to go here in the third. It would be huge. Even a field goal at this point would really put some pressure on.
2nd and 14 for the Cats following the loss. Apple, and there's going to be a flag and movement. There was some movement on the Hershey side, but I think the officials are going to get the right tackle for the Wildcats who moved on that play.
Mechanicsburg's already moving back, so I think they know it. That's not going to be all that helpful. There were quite a couple players that jumped for both sides, but I think Mechanicsburg were the guilty parties, and I think typically the officials, when they see the offensive player jump on the hut, then they know to call that. So now 2nd and 19. But we've seen Mechanicsburg get out of situations like this just earlier on this drive. Needed a measurement. We'll see what happens here with an extra down to play with.
2nd and 19, the ball in the 40. Still a running play for the Cats. Reese Miller with a stiff arm. Reese Miller at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown!
There is a flag. There is a flag on the play. This one might be coming back, and I think Mechanicsburg know it.
And right there it is. They're going to call, I thought it was a pancake block, but instead they're going to call a hold, and the coaches for the Cats are giving the officials an earful. That was what I thought was a beautiful pancake block by the wide receiver on the near side, but instead it's going to be a hold.
I mean, the coaches can be angry all they want, but, I mean, we saw it up here. The referee was right there. It's unfortunate that such a great play ends up being called back.
So it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. We'll try to take a look at it again if we can. 2nd down and 15 for the Wildcats on a bullish run by Reese Miller, and this time he is stopped in the backfield. A little trouble in the handoff. Hagidulo with the tackle, and we'll try to look at it one more time. There might be some replay audio involved for the catch. Reese Miller with a stiff arm. Right there it is. Reese Miller at the 20, just before Miller turned the corner and got in, and that's what they called the violation.
Yep, unfortunate, and now 3rd and forever to go, 15. So now they call it 16. Either way, it's going to be a daunting one. We'll see how Mechanicsburg do. Definitely 4-down territory for Coach Hecker, no doubt about it. So maybe you try 2 runs in a row. We'll see.
Reese Miller following a convoy of blockers. Reese Miller gets back past the original line of scrimmage plus 2 or 3. So 3rd and 16 becomes 4th and about 8. Handful of Trojans coming out of the pile, including J.J. Peak, Cameron Sweeney as well. And this is, look at the Hershey players, Ben. These are big young men. These are 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, maybe some 15-year-olds sprinkled in there. These are some big boys.
They've definitely been doing their job on that line, but Mechanicsburg have just been punching through again and again. It's been a trench battle for this one.
Apple under center. And the handoff to Reese Miller. The Cats sticking with the run game, and they pick up the first down.
Wow.
Mechanicsburg imposing their will on the Trojans as the ball had trickled loose, but the officials say no. Reese Miller was down. 1st and 10 Wildcats from the 20.
There's just no quitting these Wildcats. 4th and 9, and you got to run it to get it just because the pass game has not been there. And Reese Miller just comes through in the clutch yet again. Somehow, some way, they're just finding those gaps and shooting right through them. And now Mechanicsburg in prime position to take a stranglehold on this game.
14-0 could be a commanding lead. They're certainly looking to run out the 3rd quarter clock with this possession. Drake Dawson dots the I, and that play was blown up from the start. J.J. Peak also coming out of the pile for the Trojans was Hagidulo.
See, it's plays like that, right? You would think that would energize the Hershey defense. You would think that would force Mechanicsburg to throw. But instead, they face that adversity of a 3 or 4 yard loss on a run, and they continue to just keep punching that ball through the line as we head to the 4th and final frame of this one. So we're going to have to suffer with all the action being on the opposite end. But it's been amazing that despite those tackle for losses, Mechanicsburg come back and answer with more running. Crucial drive here for the Wildcats.
We have completed 3. 7-0 Mechanicsburg. Back in a bit, live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Are you on the hunt for a new home? Maybe you're a growing family looking to expand your living situation, or you find your current space too large and you're simply looking to downsize. Whatever your needs, contact Charity Kastner, Realtor with RSR Realtors today. Charity knows the local real estate market, and she will find the right home for you. Charity Kastner isn't just a Mechanicsburg-based realtor, she's a Mechanicsburg mom. And after all, mother knows best. Just ask her kids. Make the move today by calling Charity Kastner at 717-557-9312 or rsrrealtors.com to find your first or next home sweet home.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Back at Hershey High School Stadium, Mike Garland, Ben Shad. It's 2nd down and 14 for the Wildcats as we start the 4th quarter. A win tonight for the Wildcats would be huge in conference standings. Apple under center. Reese Miller, following the lead block of Drake Dawson, drags the pile forward. Didn't get it all on that one, but picked up, again, maybe about 7. So it's going to bring up a 4th down.
3rd down.
3rd down? Can't read a thing. Never mind the giant scoreboard down at the end of the field, but 3rd down. Apple rolling to his right. Lob pass intended for Drake Dawson and incomplete. Coverage by Grant later. Now it's 4th down. 4th down and about 9, and I think the offense stays on the field because if you're Coach Eckert, you've got all the faith in the world of what your defense can do.
They have absolutely stepped up to the plate tonight. I like that play call, though. Trying to mix it up, trying to get the play out wide after so many runs up the gut, and it almost connected. But now, interesting to see what we do here on 4th and 8. Again, running plays. Reese Miller has gotten the job done. So we'll be interesting to see if he does it. Also in the backfield, I believe, is Drake Dawson. He's done it with his legs, too.
It's 4th and 8. Apple under center. They're going to run on 4th and 8. Reese Miller is going to be, I think, short of the line to gain, but he picked up a few to push Hershey back towards their own goal line. So a turnover on downs, and the Trojans will have possession 1st down and 10 from inside their own 20.
And you can see the Wildcats not really dejected by that turnover on downs, essentially kind of a modified punt, if you will, just taking it all the way, winning the field position battle. Now you force Hershey to go some almost 80 yards, 85 yards, if the scoreboard is right, to go all the way to the end zone to try and tie this one with 11 minutes. And we have the referees with some whistles.
Coach Painter out on the field, very unhappy about what's going on. And I have no idea what he is unhappy about. I just know that there's some animated discussion now amongst many coaches on that sideline. It will still be 1st and 10 Trojans from their own 14. By the way, an update from Shippensburg. The Greyhounds on the board again. It is 21-7 against the Northern Polar Bears. So looks like Shippensburg's going to wrap that one up here in the next 20 or so minutes. And we'll see what next week's game means in about the same time frame. We have 11 minutes plus of clock time, probably 20 to 30 minutes of real-life time in front of us here in Week 9. Sweeney in the shotgun. Ricker's French fry stand to his right. Snack Shack as well. 3-step drop. Stepping up in the pocket. Being chased and sacked. Flung to the turf. And that is Jimmy Dwyer, the Sacred Heart commit with the sack.
Again, just broken play and reaching right in there and taking him down. Jimmy Dwyer coming up with a huge opening salvo on this drive, knocking Hershey back 2nd and 14. If it hasn't been penalties pushing the Trojans back, it's been some key defensive tackles. What a huge start to this drive for the Wildcats.
I want to once again thank Austin Bitts, our camera operator. He has fended off the student section. They were right up against him. They're now like 6 rows down from him, so great job by the super sophomore. That pass from Sweeney is completed to Brian Maduena, probably close to the line to gain. If not, it's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 or so.
They call it 3rd and 2, so
now 3rd and 1.
Mechanicsburg, bend, don't break.
And more often than not, Ben, in situations like this, the Wildcats have been able to, tackle at the line of scrimmage, pick up a sack, force a turnover. It hasn't been perfect and it hasn't been clean, but somehow the Cats are 9 minutes and 57 seconds away from an 8-1 record. Sweeney in the gun. He's going to keep. And he is hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Talon Verdelli in the vicinity. Colin Stair as well. And he does pick up the first down, so the chains are going to move.
But again, the more time that Hershey takes on this drive, the less they're going to be able to try and formulate a response. It would shock me if Hershey is not taking a shot at some point during this drive, because you need to get points and you need to get them quick. I know there's still 9.5 left to go, but considering how Mechanicsburg have been able to drive the ball downfield and eat up time, they practically took over that third quarter with 7 minutes left.
Sweeney scrambling, stepping up in the pocket, rolling to his right. Drew Freeland has a hand on him, and Colin Stair, check that. Drake Dawson pushes him out of bounds, a gain of 7. Second down at about 3. Want to thank you for tuning in tonight, live on Go Mechanicsburg. Some 1,500 of you checking out the stream. We appreciate that. As do our great business partners, including Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming in Mechanicsburg. Call today, 717-919-6266. While the kids are the stars on the field, make your dog a star at home. You can stop by to visit them at 16 South Market Street in Mechanicsburg as well. Stop in. Give your doggy a haircut. Sweeney's pass is incomplete. Maduena, the intended receiver. I think back, and I'm just, this is for the smart viewer who's been paying attention. You were talking about earlier, like a cat who tucks its leg in. You've got a cat.
Yep.
I've got a cat. And I'm starting to wonder about the, I think my cat doesn't, my cat bullies me, right? So
Cats tend to do that, yes.
So I have a couch, which has been an amazing scratching post for the cat over the last few years. I bought a scratching post. The cat was using the scratching post, and I was like, oh, good job, kitty. That pass completed, far side of the field. Sweeney to Maduena. Darius Crawford-George with the tackle. So, the cat's using the scratching post. Good job, kitty. That's what I want. Maybe someday I can get a new couch. Good job, kitty. And 30 seconds later, back of the couch.
Yep.
She's just bouncing between objects.
I've been having the same fight as well. It's a losing battle.
One of these days, that cat's not going to have furniture.
Neither
but then again,
will you.
neither will I. Hey, you don't know the length I'd go on that one.
I hear Cabela's has a sale on camping chairs soon.
That pass is complete across the middle of the field to Alex Guzman. Guzman came into this one with 3 catches, 91 yards. That might be his first reception of the night. And the chains are going to move. 9 minutes on the game clock.
Again, Hershey sticking to what they know, right? Slicing and dicing through the field. Medium length passes to get chunk yards and move yourself downfield. Now, once they get away from that, then all of a sudden they start getting in trouble. Just stick with what you know, and Hershey can come away with a huge score here in the fourth.
Sweeney under pressure, steps up in the pocket. That pass again completed. Maduena, and the Cats are giving him the yardage to catch the ball. And Hershey deep into Wildcat territory. They've been there before, but haven't been able to come away with much of anything. It is first down and 10, Hershey.
But now you sense a rhythm from the Trojans, right? Now all of a sudden these passes are connecting left and right. Every 2 plays, they are moving the chains. So that's getting downfield. That's getting downfield quickly. Mechanicsburg are afraid of giving up the big play, but now with a shorter field, do they step up on this pass defense?
Sweeney with the pump fake. Rolling right, Drake Dawson chases. Sweeney lobs it near sideline, and it is incomplete. That was Alex Jones trying to corral it, and Talon Verdelli is injured near the 25-yard line as well. So with Verdelli down and the trainers on the field, we're going to step out real quick. Back after this, live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Snappers Bar and Grill at 120 East Allen Street in Mechanicsburg is proud to support Wildcat Athletics. Snappers is open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. and offers outstanding service and exceptional food and drink options, all at a fair price. Stop in for fresh seafood, delicious hand-cut steaks, and homemade pasta dishes. Snappers also offers a variety of sandwiches, fresh, crisp salads, and awesome appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or have your next big gathering catered. Snappers Bar and Grill. Call 717-697-9475 to learn more.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Seth Gardner for your personal price plan today.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Back to live action. It is 2nd down and 10 for the Trojans. Verdelli helped off the field. And a little hitch and pitch. That's a play the Cats have run the last couple of years. It's a gain of about 8. Medina caught it. Tossed to Caleb Simmons. Darius Crawford-George there to make the tackle. So 3rd down and 2. Certainly the Cats have been successful running that play over the last couple of years. Justin Bardo, the recipient of it on 2 different occasions.
Wow.
And it's 3rd down and 1.5, maybe 2 for the Trojans.
We have not seen the hook and ladder in some time, let alone from an opponent. An interesting decision.
I will say I like to play better when we run it.
Well, yeah, obviously. But it was a little risky there for Hershey, and I don't know if it was worth the reward of 2 extra yards, but we'll see how it turns out.
Sweeney in the gun, and the handoff, and that is going to be a line of scrimmage stop. Samir Edwards pace, and he actually loses half a yard on the play. Coming out of the pile is Colin Stair, and he gets his jersey and shoulder pad corrected by referee Matt Freeze. So here we go, 4th down and 1. And I'll tell you what, Ben, the way the Cats have been running the ball, I won't go as far as saying this could be the ball game if Hershey can't convert.
Oh, I will.
But it's darn close.
I will. I will go so far to say that this is the ball game right here. If you come up with this stop, you very well have the game in your hands. And even at worst, you still push Hershey back to their own side of the field and do this stuff all over again. They've yet to find pay dirt.
Under 10 seconds left on the play clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Hershey can't get the play off.
Wow.
Hershey is going to be called for a delay of game penalty unless somehow they were able to call that timeout from the sideline. But they were slow out of the huddle, slow to the line of scrimmage, and there's not an actual functioning play clock here, but I was watching the umpire, and when there isn't a play clock, and probably even when there is, they put their hand up at 10 and then start counting at 5 as if it was a basketball official counting through the backcourt.
Wow. Well, as much as you'd like to think that's a backbreaker for Hershey, their passing game has done this all day. So now you know what's coming if you're the Mechanicsburg defense. Break up the pass and get the turnover on downs.
4th and 7. Sweeney to his right under pressure. Drake Dawson in his face. 50-50 ball. Incomplete. Incomplete. Knocked away by Ryan Foose. Dylan Taylor in the area as well.
So pressure on the quarterback. He throws up a prayer here on the right side. Great job by our cameraman. And look at all that coverage. It almost came away. But with that massive hands, they bat it down with a huge play. And now Mechanicsburg just need to run out 7:15 and 3 Hershey timeouts and come away with probably the most narrow win we've seen in some time here calling Mechanicsburg football, but they still got to run it. You still have to convert some downs before you can start celebrating. Easier said than done against this Hershey defense, but your run game has stepped it up so far. Now they need to finish the job on this drive.
Noah Apple under center. Drake Dawson is the fullback. Reese Miller the tailback. Reese Miller, a bullish run past the line of scrimmage, picks up 3, maybe 4. Tackle made by Noah Cohen. And if you're Coach Painter, you're not using those timeouts just yet, but you have to be cautious because Mechanicsburg has been running the ball all night long, running it down your throat, almost running at will. And a couple of more first downs, he's going to have to go into his pocket and pull at least one of those timeouts out.
And this second half has been far from perfect for Mechanicsburg. A couple of penalties, a almost fumble that went Hershey's way, right? So it's not a far gone conclusion.
Reese Miller again. And J.J. Peak with the tackle. Grant Lader with the tackle. And looking at the Wildcats sideline, defensive players staying loose, the team as a whole on edge, knowing that we're 6 minutes away from wrapping this one up. Reese Miller turns the corner, and Reese Miller is going to pick up the Wildcat first down. Wow. Reggie Onway with the tackle, also in on the stop, Alex Jones. Chains move, clock continues to wind, or at least will once the ball is spotted.
Something about that toss play. It's so simple, Mike. You know it's coming, but yet something about that toss play, Reese Miller just gets into gear, finds the gaps, and could be dead to rights at least 3 different times before getting the line to gain and somehow shoots through just the perfect amount every time.
Apple handing to Reese Miller, who is tackled in the backfield by Reggie Onway, a tackle for loss of about 5, maybe 6. So that's not what the Cats would want, but, Ben, the clock continues to wind despite the loss on the play.
Right, and again, any forward progress that you can get, even if you have to settle for a punt at the end of the drive, still backs Hershey up and gives them a lot of work to do. They haven't been able to find that home run play just yet. You always have to be careful of it, but again, that bend, don't break mentality, right? They've been letting those 6 to 7 yard passes get in front of them, and when they came time in the red zone, stepped up and came up with some crucial stops.
Miller one more time. Miller met near the line of scrimmage. Tackled by Noah Cohen. And Talon Verdelli is back into the game. We were watching the trainers work on him during our timeout, and for as much pain as he was in, it looks like it probably was just a cramp.
Thankfully so, and everybody's all right. You need your healthy bodies, especially at this stage in the game. And right now, 3rd and 10. And again, do we see that tried and true toss play that has worked so well for the Wildcats to get them out of these situations?
3rd and 10. Fumble on the play, and Hershey has recovered. Reese Miller puts it on the carpet, and the Trojans do recover. That probably couldn't have come at a worse time for the Wildcats.
And again, wasn't a foregone conclusion. Hershey stepped up, came up with the big hit, or I think the play was a little bit broken because somehow that ball got fumbled forward. I don't know if Miller, who was, I think, the recipient of it, I don't know if he ever got a solid grip on it. But now, for Mechanicsburg, your defense needs to come up in a huge spot. For Hershey, this is a gift. 4:19 on the clock, all 3 timeouts. You're in Mechanicsburg's side of the field. Again, the Wildcats, it's been bend, don't break. And now you need to be as flexible as ever to come up with a crucial stop here against Hershey.
I haven't been flexible since my 20s, Ben, but the Cats' defense has been flexible all night long. Sweeney dropping back, steps up in the pocket, home run ball to the end zone, and about 15 yards over the head of intended receiver Grant Lader.
And Lanner was double covered there too. So no matter where that ball was going, if it was underthrown, there would have been a defender there to try and grab it. As it was overthrown right there, you could see Mechanicsburg were ready for it. So Lader was double covered. Mechanicsburg defense knew who the key guy was going to be on that home run play. Able to waste it down, if you will. Obviously, this is going to be 4-down territory for Hershey. So you've gotten away with 1. You just need to get 3 more stops.
Reese Miller, Talon Verdelli stretching on the near sideline. The athletic training staff telling these young men, remain loose. Verdelli's been a big part of the Wildcat defense. But the Cats need something big right now from Jimmy Dwyer, Drake Dawson, Colin Stair. And another quarterback taking the snap. That is Lader, and Lader is escorted out of bounds in front of the Wildcat bench by Dylan Taylor. So interesting that Lader was taking that snap and not Sweeney. but Sweeney has done it all, and he was lined up as a receiver this time around.
And perhaps maybe Hershey taking a page out of the Wildcats book, right? We started this game with Noah Apple, and then all of a sudden we saw Drake Dawson take over. Well, now Hershey's like, all right, you've seen enough of Cam Sweeney. Let's put somebody else in the backfield.
Well, and I'll tell you what you do by putting Cam Sweeney out there is you have a 6'3" wide receiver that can jump. So you have Later taking the shotgun snap. That pass completed across the middle to Alex Guzman, and he picks up the first down. But right now it's not about first downs. It's about time on the clock. 4 minutes remaining in this one as Hershey again knocking on the end zone door. The fewest points Hershey has scored all season, Ben, was 19, and that was in their loss to Shippensburg. This is a team that has come in averaging 34.6 points per game. And regardless of result, they will be well under that average tonight.
Absolutely.
Later again in the shotgun. Later stepping up. Pass. Intercepted! Intercepted! No Apple! Oh my goodness! The officials come together. It is a touchback. No Apple with the pick.
Watch this replay. The throw comes in, and Apple right in front of his receiver makes the clean catch, gets the feet down in the end zone right in front of us in the broadcast booth. And once again, a Hershey drive with all of the momentum in the world stopped dead in its tracks by another turnover, this time through the air. And Mechanicsburg, man, the defense this is probably the best defensive performance we have seen by a Wildcat team in some time. Regardless of the scoreboard, the turnovers you have come away with in the most dire of moments has been increasingly clutch.
Well, the key now for the Cats is to hold on to the football. Noah Apple under center. Reese Miller gets another chance, and he holds on this time around, gains maybe 1, 2nd down and 9, and I would expect Hershey to use those timeouts here in just a few moments. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Coach Painter not doing it yet. And again, thanks to everybody who's tuned in tonight live on Go Mechanicsburg. Coming up after the game, we will recognize our 11 Oaks Farms player of the game. And I'm not sure where you go other than possibly the entire defense at the rate this is happening.
This game, barring something crazy at the end of this, could not rest on one individual.
Absolutely.
A total team performance by these Wildcats, but we still got time to go.
2nd down and 9. Apple with the handoff to Reese Miller. Reese Miller off of Jimmy Dwyer, and the chains will move as Cameron Sweeney makes the tackle. And Coach Painter yet to call the timeout. I can't believe he's conceding what could be inevitable here in the next 2.5 minutes. I'm shocked he hasn't called the timeout yet.
Well, maybe he's waiting until they get under 2 minutes. You know what Mechanicsburg's capable of. You know they're going to run the ball, but
that's the craziest thing. Everyone in the stadium knows Mechanicsburg's going to run the ball. 3rd and 11, 3rd and 14. It doesn't matter. And they have not, in general, been able to stop the Wildcats tonight. Miller one more time. Reese Miller picks up 3. And we will be under 2 minutes by the time the Wildcats snap the ball again.
So I would think if Hershey comes up with another stop here, then we will see Coach Painter use his first time out. I would think he's going to try and rest it on this drive right here. And if Mechanicsburg is able to get a first, then essentially they've won it.
1:39 remaining. Noah Apple with what could have been the game-clinching interception just a few moments ago. Miller hit hard at the line of scrimmage, holds on to the football as Grant Later makes the tackle, and now we see that timeout. That'll give us a chance to step out real quick as well. We'll be back after this, live on Go Mechanicsburg.
With True Green, we got a great price on a golf course quality lawn,
which attracted golfers.
Morning. Who needs a warm-up? And because True Green's doing the work, we get to have more fun.
Please don't post that.
Too late.
They don't have grass this thick in Australia.
That's what happens when you have a great lawn.
Shanked it again, huh? They're fun to have around.
PGA Tour quality lawns for as little as $1 a day.
Where are we playing next?
Get started at TrueGreen.com.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Back at Hershey High School, Mike Garland, Ben Shad, thank you for tuning in, and thanks to our great Go Mechanicsburg live stream crew. Ryan Hartman working the score interface tonight. Austin Bitts on the camera. He is a student. He is among the students, and he's shooting the game like a pro. 3rd down and 7 for the Cats. Certainly an opportunity here for Mechanicsburg to close this one out if they can pick up a first down. Obviously, Hershey would call a timeout, but if they can't pick up the first down, then it's big decision time for Coach Eckert.
Just got to take it one play at a time. Have to wonder if Mechanicsburg get close. Do they go for it on 4th down? The way your defense has been playing, it's an awfully big roll of the dice.
Apple under center draws the encroachment. +5 for the Cats. Now that doesn't run any time off the clock, but 3rd and 7 just became 3rd and 2.
Oh, what a great job there by Apple, just on the fake, getting Hershey to bite in the most crucial times right out of the timeout. And now you just really need to bull your way up the middle, and you can ice this game after a fantastic defensive performance. But again, the last drive we saw should have been a cakewalk, and it was fumbled out of the hands and gave Hershey another shot. So hold on to the ball, fall forward, and good things will happen.
3rd down and 1 for the Wildcats. Miller surges forward and will pick up the first down. And another timeout for Hershey. We'll keep it right here, Ben. This has just been an amazing game tonight for the Wildcats. The defense, top to bottom, stops when needed, turnovers when needed, and the huge interception by Noah Apple with about 3:29 left has really put Mechanicsburg in a position to win this one by a 7-0 score.
This was a nice old-school football game, right? Battle of the trenches, Hershey throwing passes left and right, but Mechanicsburg had a game plan tonight. And one thing that I think it's really important to note, and I talked about this earlier in the game, Mike, the offense, not once, has had their heads down. Every single time they have put that ball downfield, they know that their job was more about the field position than it was about the scoreboard. Even on those 4th downs that came up short, even on those turnovers, they kept their heads held high and knew that this was going to be a defensive battle. And through, they have gone out and answered the bell every time, continued to play their game, refused to bow to the pressure, refused to take any deep shots or anything like that, have kept close to themselves, and with a huge win, barring anything crazy here with $1:23 left to go. But, man, what a total team performance by these Wildcats here tonight against a very tough Hershey squad.
It's crazy to think that this Hershey team is going to drop to 6-3 and be a fringe playoff contender, because this is a good football team. 1st down and 10 for the Cats. Apple in the gun. Hershey with just one timeout left, and Mechanicsburg will start to knee this one out. Victory formation for the Wildcats. And again, a postseason reminder that boys and girls soccer will be home on the 21st. Boys soccer plays Exeter at 5 o'clock. I'll have the call here on Go Mechanicsburg. Then at 7:30, girls soccer plays Wilson. Ben Shad will tag in for the call, again live on Go Mechanicsburg. All of that is at Northside, but please note, a separate ticket is required. You must purchase your tickets online, no cash sales at the door. So visit the PIAA District 3 website or follow the Wildcats on X, formerly Twitter, at Go Mechanicsburg, as the links and QR codes will pop up. So that's what Tuesday looks like. Wednesday, I will have the call for field hockey at the stadium versus Southwestern at 7 o'clock, and then Ben will be in the gym as volleyball hosts Spring Grove again at 7 o'clock. So Hershey has used its final timeout. The Cats will need to take a knee one, maybe two more times en route to the victory. They will sit atop the division at 8-1, 7-1 overall. Shippensburg victorious tonight against Northern. They are going to be 7-2, also 7-1, and that means, Ben, next Friday night at Memorial Park, the Mid-Penn Keystone Championship is on the line between the Greyhounds and the Wildcats, just like it was last year.
Deja vu all over again,
Let's
right?
not hope all of deja vu all over again.
We were talking about that on the car ride in. But, man, what a good time to be a Wildcat, right? A huge win here for football sets you up for a fantastic matchup next week against the Greyhounds of Shippensburg. All sorts of playoff action for all of our fall sports team, and all of them at home, too. Can't imagine the last time that happened, that we were fortunate enough to have some home cooking for
8-1 overall, 7-1 in conference play. Meanwhile, Hershey is going to fall to 6-3, 5-3 in conference play. This one was a slugfest.
Oh, it absolutely was. But look how much it meant to those players on the Mechanicsburg sideline, celebrating like crazy, but a little bit tired because it was just been a battle. And all the credit in the world to Hershey, right? You were just one pass away, one turnover away from tying this one, and we could have been in an overtime thriller. But Mechanicsburg's defense, no matter how big the play, no matter how close Hershey got to the end zone, came up with crucial fumbles, a crucial interception right on the edge of the end zone, stepped up at every single opportunity to come away with a huge win, and Mechanicsburg is going to be carrying a boatload of momentum into their final home game, senior night, next Friday against the Shippensburg Greyhound for the Keystone Division. It's going to be a fun one.
We're going to take a 60-second break, come back, showcase our 11 Oaks Farms players of the game. Mechanicsburg victorious 7-0. Back after this, live on Go Mechanicsburg.
A deck where memories are made, barbecues are grilled, and sunsets are savored. But let's face it, not all decks are created equal. Enter Westshire Decks. We're not your average deck builders. Precision is our mantra. We don't just build decks, we craft outdoor living spaces tailored to your dreams. With Westshire Decks, you get seasoned experts who know decks inside and out. So why settle for a deck that's just okay when you can have one that's extraordinary? Westshire Decks, where craftsmanship meets creativity. Give us a call today and come see how we are different.
Wolf Brewing Company, located in Legacy Park, just off South Market Street in Mechanicsburg, offers a family and pet-friendly atmosphere for community members of all ages. Family owned by Wildcat graduates, Wolf Brewing Company serves up delectable dishes including comfort foods with a gourmet twist, plus drinks of all types for the community, from the community. Roll in before, during, or after the game for their laid-back ambiance, live music, trivia, and more. Wolf Brewing Company, 100 Legacy Park Drive, Suite 400, or online at wolfbrewingco.com.
Getting you back to Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics, presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville. Live on Go Mechanicsburg.
Hershey plays their fight song as the Wildcats break from the team huddle en route to the 7-0 victory here on homecoming night in Derry Township. Ben, it was an awesome game. It was a slugfest. Reese Miller scored the lone touchdown, but it was so much more than what Reese did on the ground. Definitely well over 100 yards for that young man tonight. It was about the Wildcat defense, capped by a Noah Apple interception to seal this one with under 3.5 remaining.
Absolutely. What a fantastic defensive stand that the Wildcats made on multiple times, came up with huge turnovers just when it seemed like Hershey had everything going their way. The Wildcats stepped up with multiple fumbles. Again, that key interception, forcing Hershey to use all of their playbook and kept them out of the end zone. Again, a team that was averaging an insane amount of points, an insane amount of yards, and were held up short in a crucial game, and now we have a crucial Keystone matchup next week.
Our 11 Oaks Farms player of the game, I think it's pretty simple. The Mechanicsburg defense. They collectively are the 11 Oaks Farms player of the game, and that is going to do it for us here in Hershey. We need to tear down from this mobile donkey broadcast station, and we got to send Austin Bitts home. So we thank him. We thank Ryan Hartman. Ben, I thank you, and we're going to get back at it this week with fall sports postseason, and next Friday, the conference championship will be on the line, live at Go Mechanicsburg, back in 7 days.
This has been a presentation of Mechanicsburg Wildcat Athletics live on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg. Wildcat Athletics live on YouTube is presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville, Bobby Ray Hall Automotive Group, Charity Kastner RSR Realtors, Your Neighborhood Chick-fil-A at Shepherdstown Crossing, Lawnscapes Inc., Members First Federal Credit Union, Operation Wildcat, OSS Health, now with 2 locations on the West Shore, Mechanicsburg Area Recreation Department, RBC Wealth Management and the Turnbridge Group, Renewed Hearing Solutions, Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming, Sheets, Snappers Bar and Grill, Seth Gardner State Farm, your Harrisburg True Green Lawn Care, Westshire Decks servicing all of Central PA, the Wildcat Foundation, and Wolf Brewing Company. Additional thanks to the Mechanicsburg Area School District and to all the friends, family, and community members who tune in to watch the games. The Mechanicsburg Wildcats. Presented by 11 Oaks Farms in Newville on Go Mechanicsburg Live and on YouTube at Go Mechanicsburg. We'll see you again next time.